Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest live stream. We do have some emergency coverage for you as we do have a tornado warning in a very populated area in Pennsylvania. This is near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we do actually have a couplet that is developed on radar in a little notch and a little QLCS tornado risk that is going to be heading in the direction of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is obviously a very populated area, so if you are in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right now, you got to get to your safe place away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building, as this storm does have a capability of producing a tornado. As of right now, that strongest area of circulation is traveling right along Route 22, and it is heading eastbound. It is going to be going right into Pittsburgh over the next several minutes. So again, if you're in this warning, you got to get to your safe place. As of right now, it is a radar indicated area of rotation, and you'll again notice that there's a pretty strong inflow going to the storm. Got a hook right here as well, so this thing could very well produce a tornado at any time as it does continue to track to the east over the next several minutes. Radar has just updated. It's not updated on here yet, but that area of rotation, here it is, just south of Santiago. So that's where the strongest area of rotation is, and we actually might have a tornado on the ground. There is a CC signature there. We'll see if we can verify that with velocities, but there actually might be a tornado on the ground right now south of Santiago. So if you're in this warning, again, get to your safe place. This is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where we do have a tornado that could be on the ground right now, just to the northwest of Oakdale. Velocities have not yet updated. Let me check my phone here. But this might be on the ground right now, going right into Pittsburgh here in just a moment. This is not a good situation, as again, there's over 500,000 people in this warning. If this is on the ground, I think it is on the ground. The velocities are very strong. Here's the latest scan. Yeah, there's likely a tornado right now near Santiago going towards Oakdale, and it's going to be right on track for Pittsburgh. Again, it's a QLCS tornado. These can sometimes be short-lived. They can also sometimes be a little bit longer tracked. Right now, though, it does look like we at least have possibly a tornado on the ground. Can't confirm it yet, but we'll see what the next scan shows, but very strong possibility that we have a tornado on the ground right now south of Imperial, and again going towards areas like Pennsbury Village, Carnegie, Dormont, and as well as Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So again, if you're in this warning, you got to get underground if you can. Get to your safe place away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. There is a possibility that we do have a tornado on the ground, and again, if it is on the ground, it's gonna be just southeast of Santiago. See what the velocity show. We still got a small little CC signature. That could be a tornado. It also could just be the remnants of a tornado that we just had, because there might have been just a brief tornado a second ago there just southeast of Santiago. And that's the area of rotation. Very strong there for that one scan. I do think we just had at least a brief tornado southeast of Santiago. And in this tornado, if it is still on the ground, it's going to be located just south of Imperial. Again, it's going to be going right towards Pittsburgh. This is your hook right here. This is your inflow going to the storm. It's a very well-organized QLCS type tornado that we have that could very well be on the ground. So again, if you're in this warning, you need to get to your safe place. If you know any friends or family in the Pittsburgh area, definitely let them know. The current trajectory of this is that it would be going right towards Pittsburgh. So right into the downtown, right into the heart area of Pittsburgh is where this tornado, if it is on the ground, it'll be heading right in that direction. Even if it's not on the ground, it's still heading in that direction. So you need to get to your safe place if you're in this warning. I'm going to see if we have any sort of live shots of this. There are a few areas that have video footage in this area. Let me just see if we have anything clear. Let's see. Now, we got a couple of shots here. Let me see if we got anything that's showing the storm, because this is going to be going right into Pennsbury Village here in just a second. And the radar's about to update again here in a second as well. I was not expecting to go live, by the way. I was taking today off, and the only reason why I'm live is because this is a very populated area, and this actually has a pretty high likelihood of producing a tornado in this sort of environment with a QLCS potential tornado. This isn't like a discrete storm that's producing a tornado. This is more than anything just a QLCS type tornado if it is on the ground, which there might be a tornado. There's still a CC drop there just on the north side of Oakdale. That might still be a tornado right now on the northwest side of Oakdale. So again, if you're in this warning, you got to get to your safe place. We may still have a tornado, and there's a strong likelihood if it is on the ground, this is going to be a rain wrap tornado. So it's a bit more dangerous, especially since it's right now about 7:36. There's definitely a lot of people on the roadways. There's no doubt about that, especially this time of night here in western Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh. Definitely a storm that you need to be seeking shelter for if you're in this warning, as this could very well be on the ground right now. Let me change the time here. The time changed. They've not officially confirmed it. We've had a few scans in a row here that we've had, like, at least first scan here, we had a little bit of a CC drop. It's too hard to tell, though, verifying this confirmed, because velocities are not as strong as before. But if there is a tornado, it's going to be right there, approaching Oakdale in Pennsylvania. There's again, it's a very strong possibility that we have a tornado on the ground. This is a live shot right now on one of the roadways here in Pennsylvania. Can't really see much, but top of your screen, again, just very ominous right now. I'm not seeing anything definitive on this live shot yet. Not really too windy yet. This is on the west side of Pittsburgh. So we have a lot of different traffic cameras on the west side near Interstate 79. So we might be able to verify something on Interstate 79 here. That was actually 376. All right, the latest radar scans coming in now. And again, if you're just tuning in, potential for a QLCS tornado does exist near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Again, Pittsburgh is in this warning. They do have that live shot actually on this storm. Let's go back to that real quick while we wait for radar to update. They're actually now looking in the direction of where this would be. It'd be at very top of your screen. Wind is starting to pick up a little bit. And again, the video here is going to be very blurry just because it's a traffic cam. The wind is definitely picking up right now. See if we can see anything here. Because if there is a tornado, it's going to be within this area. It's not far from it. QLCS is quasi-linear convective system. So, basically, fancy word for embedded tornadoes in a line of storms. It's definitely getting windier here. Not seeing anything clear, though. We're right in the vicinity of where this tornado might be. This is back to radar. If this is on the ground, it's going to be near Oakdale. Don't have a debris signature, but that right there will be the area of rotation. So right now, it's over the Oakdale, Pennsylvania area. So that is now where this is located. It looks like we have an outflow boundary on the leading edge of this, and that might be where that wind is coming from. Wind is really picking up now here. They're changing the camera view. Wind is really picking up. Wow. Whoa. Okay, there is possibly a tornado on the ground right now, or that's a microburst. Wow. It is very windy right now on the west side of Pittsburgh. Either we just had a tornado, or we have a microburst. One of the two. Or we might have a tornado. This is, again, right now in Pittsburgh. It is extremely windy. Bare minimum, it's a microburst. I'm not seeing any... I mean, the wind's been going left to right this entire time on this angle. Jeez. Holy Toledo is right. It is extremely windy. That camera might have just gone out. Nope, it's still on. Yeah, so the tornado right now, if there's a tornado, it's going to be near Oakdale. I'm leaning... I was originally going to say I think this is just a microburst or really high winds, but the trees are swaying different directions. Wow. This is really strong winds. If it's not a tornado, we have potentially 80+ mile/hour winds right now happening in the west side of Pittsburgh. This is crazy. Let's see if we have anything reported here. But man, but the wind is just so strong for this just to be... it's either probably a microburst or it is, again, a tornado. One of the two. The wind has changed directions a bit, but nothing clear and obvious from what we're seeing in terms of it being a tornado or not. No matter what, we have at least very high damaging winds right now on this storm. Let's go back to velocities. I mean, I'm not really seeing much anymore in terms of rotation. There is a huge surge of wind, though, going right towards Pittsburgh. So we probably have some sort of big RFD surge right now going right towards the west side of Pittsburgh. From what we're seeing on that live cam, I mean, this is back to it. It's just very windy. I'm not seeing as much rotation, but I do think this is some sort of microburst or just very strong RFD surge that we have on the backside of the storm. Just got absurd really quickly. Yeah, they might issue a new tornado warning. I don't know if they will, though, because the rotation didn't look as strong. I'm leaning towards this just being wind more than anything right now. I mean, before it looked like there was a tornado. I think it's a big RFD surge right now, though, going towards, like, Carnegie. I'm going to see what we have out in front of this. It is extraordinarily windy. Here's the latest scan. So again, if we have a tornado, it's going to be down here somewhere near Carnegie. It's going to be on the southern line of this tornado warning. See what the velocities show. We have another live shot out of this. We have a lot, so we'll just kind of keep going back and forth here. And if you're just tuning in, this is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's obviously in the title, but this is where it's heading. Going eastbound right into the heart of Pittsburgh. At the bare minimum, we have really significant damaging winds in this area. We very well may have a tornado or one that just happened. So both of those things do remain strong possibilities. Velocities have not updated though yet. There is reason to believe though we at least had a brief tornado near the North Fayette Township. So I think we may have had a brief touchdown here. That is where the strongest area of rotation did exist. It is still radar indicated, by the way, so they just updated the warning. It is still radar indicated. This is the area that we're looking at now out here in west of just west of Pittsburgh on the PennDOT camera. Again, notice very high wind starting to pick up here as well. We're probably going to see another big surge of wind here, especially on the right side of your screen. These trees are probably about to go crazy with what we just saw back out to the west. Very, very rainy too. Obviously, the visibility is going to be very low. Got wind driving from the backside of this camera to the east, so it's going to be moving right into town, and that means anybody going westbound is going to be driving into a curtain of rain. You can just see how low that visibility just got. I mean, the visibility just dropped entirely. You can't see anything anymore beyond this bridge. Yeah, maybe a quarter of a mile of visibility, and that's about it. That's on I-376. I don't think this tornado is on the ground anymore. We are getting some more confirmation that there was at least a brief tornado. But just in case, right now it is still radar indicated. It no longer includes Pittsburgh on this tornado warning. Let's go back to radar real quick. It no longer includes Pittsburgh. It does include Carnegie, Dormont, Homestead, and Munhall. And I am not seeing any rotation anymore. So I do think the tornado that we did have, or, you know, was at least presumably that we had, has lifted at this point. That's at least what I'm thinking. I don't see anything that looks imminent, though, anymore. I think this is a much bigger concern for wind. But I think what we just saw in that live cam was probably a microburst. And this is another live shot just out in front of it. The wind is still strong, don't get me wrong. I think it's around 60 to 70 miles per hour, but I don't think it's as strong as what we just saw in that one live cam back over where the tornado is nearby. I really do think there's probably at least a microburst. But we'll see what this camera shows. It's right in the same trajectory of where that highest wind core was. So we'll see what we can see here. Still very windy, there's no doubt. There one in Ohio. We do not have a tornado warning in Ohio. We did have a tornado possible in Ohio. I mean, I've been kind of periodically looking at the radar today. I was not planning on going live by any means, but this caught my eyeballs, you know, by a long stretch, just due to the fact it's in an environment where we have a little embedded QLCS tornado that likely just occurred. I think, again, we did have a tornado on the ground near Santiago, just southeast of that near the North Fayette Township. Now, again, the debris signature, it shows there, but it's not super clear. But I do think we at least had a brief tornado there on the northwest side of Oakdale, probably on the ground for 2 or 3 minutes. We're going to get a survey, you know, tomorrow that's going to probably confirm that, or belief at least. From what I've heard as well, local news stations did say it was on the ground too. So I'm pretty sure it was, like 95% sure we at least had a brief tornado. I don't think it's on the ground anymore, but I do think it was at least on the ground there momentarily near Pittsburgh. But still a good 10 to 15 miles from Pittsburgh. For what it's worth, we're not really, you know, it didn't happen right in Pittsburgh. It's still in the suburbs. This is another live shot here. Still very windy out here. By the way, we will be live probably for at least an hour, so we will cover some stuff. I don't usually do 15-minute live streams, so we'll at least be live for like an hour. Just kind of talking to you guys about what's happening tonight. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did have a tornado. I don't think it's on the ground anymore, but we did. 98% sure from what I'm seeing. Welcome back, Heather. My tree just fell. Hopefully you stay safe. There are going to be a lot of trees that are falling down. We've already had a lot of damage reports in general across, you know, a large area. Not just Pennsylvania. I mean, you can see all the black circle. These are all damage reports, you know, all over the place. We got some in northwestern Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania. We got a significant wind threat going towards New York right now. But back over in like the southern plains, back over in the Mississippi Valley, see all those black circles? Those are all also damage reports. We've had a boatload of them. We even got severe weather over in southwest Oklahoma this evening. It's kind of crazy. We actually got again, a large area today for severe weather. It's not like a, substantial risk by any means, but the highest risk level was a slight. This is the terminal radar site. I do want to see, did this show that tornado earlier too? Yeah, I'm like 99% sure we at least had a brief tornado on the southeast side of Santiago. Again, that was a little while ago. It was about 15 minutes ago, maybe 10 minutes ago when that happened. But we at least had a brief tornado, and it probably rolled right through that area. They have gone ahead and canceled the tornado warning, but that area there in particular, I do think we at least had a brief tornado for probably about 5 minutes. Now, the main concern for Pittsburgh right now will be wind. I think the tornado risk, at least for now, has dwindled, because this is already kind of bowed out entirely. It's more of a wind concern now. But you'll see how this kind of wraps here. And again, this is what we call a QLCS tornado. Whenever we get something that wraps like this, let me pause the radar frames here. This is what we call a QLCS spin up or tornado. When we get a little inflow notch into a cluster of storms and we get a little hook like that forming, that is a QLCS tornado, and that is what just happened, at least for about 4 or 5 minutes probably, just in between Robinson and the Lebanon area, kind of in between there near Route 22. So that's at least what we just experienced. Now, could we see another tornado? It is very possible, but I still think the risk here is quite low. Today's risk overall for tornadoes is expected to be low. It's, it's a 2%. They originally removed it when we made the forecast this morning, but they added it back, and it's a 2% tornado risk across the board. Most of the areas that are included in that, it's a pretty small area. Let's go to the tornado risk. It doesn't even include, funny enough, this tornado that happened wasn't even in the 2%. But again, you can still see tornadoes outside of the SPC outlook areas. Yesterday shows an example of that. The tornado in Whitman, Nebraska, that was outside of the 2% tornado risk. So today's kind of the same way. We could still see tornadoes elsewhere, but the chances naturally will be at least a bit lower. I don't think today's tornado risk, again, is that high. But all right, we're going to update you on some of the other storms that are happening, because this isn't it for severe weather. We still have plenty of thunderstorms out there that are severe, some that are producing significant winds, some are producing hail, and none of them right now producing tornadoes, at least from what we know. This is the storm activity just to the west of New York right now. Again, the main concern with these will be wind as they approach New York. So if you're in New York City, near Long Island, near New City, any of these areas, just make sure that you are staying weather aware. The main concern, again, for this entire region will be wind. I'm not expecting much of a tornado risk with this activity. Though we could see a brief tornado, it just looks very unlikely. With that said, we do have at least maybe some broad circulation near the Wantage area. Let me see if I can verify that with the other radar site. It's embedded in the storm. It's not definitive. There is a little bit of broad circulation there west of Wantage. It's all rain wrapped. I kind of doubt that's going to be anything significant, at least, but maybe something brief in terms of a spin up. I would say more of a wind concern, though. That'll be moving into southeast New York, eventually going towards Connecticut. Main concern will be damaging winds between 60 and 70 miles per hour. Now, the main concern across Maryland and Delaware is dwindling right now. We have one little cluster of storms going through Salisbury and Ocean Pines that is also mostly going to be damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Back over in Pittsburgh, this line of storms will continue to pose a threat for damaging winds probably for the next few hours. It's not going to be done anytime soon. It'll probably run until 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. Main concern with this as well will be the threat for some damaging winds, and as well as that, we'll also have the potential for some large hail, maybe an isolated tornado. The threat in Kentucky was a bit interesting earlier. There was rotation on the leading edge of this line. I'm not sure if we still have any rotation areas, but we did have some brief rotation kind of spinning in a couple spots on the leading edge of this line of storms. I don't think we have an imminent tornado risk here. I think this will stay predominantly wind, but I wouldn't rule out a brief tornado somewhere in this area in southern Kentucky. It's not something that's impossible in this sort of environment. And then back over in Mississippi and Alabama, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch for 2 more hours. I would probably say that this is gonna get canceled, because I don't really think we're gonna have much more storm activity here. other than a few strong storms that are in the area. Pretty live cam out of Jackson, Mississippi right now. Very nice conditions. It is, you know, obviously very cloudy, but you know, it's nice. Got some stratus clouds there. And then back over into parts of Tennessee. We do have some live cams in Tennessee on Radar Omega, and that's a fantastic one right there. Look at that. Nice little shelf cloud rolling right into the White County area near Sparta, Tennessee. Very nice little live cam there. And again, looking westbound. This is my favorite type of cloud. Our shelf clouds. These are fantastic. My favorite clouds to look at right here. Let me fix the virtual rail fans real quick so we have more relevant locations, because Oklahoma City, just going to keep it on. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not very relevant today, and it didn't change them. Thank you, by the way, Danielle, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Appreciate that. It's a nice little shelf cloud. Thank you, Vortex, for the 199. I would say tornado threat on Long Island is very close to 0. I would not be concerned. And maybe something brief, but I'm not expecting anything out of the ordinary there. We have a Cumberland, Maryland live cam. I don't even know where that is. We're going to put that one up at least for the time being. I didn't even know we had Maryland live cams to begin with. We have one. Cumberland, Maryland. That's way too long. What's Maryland? Is that M? Anybody know what Maryland's abbreviation is? Yeah, there was a tornado warning in northwestern Pennsylvania earlier. It wasn't really that concerning, to be honest. I was not going to go live for that. MD, thank you. I should have known that. All right, and then let me see if we have anything else. I don't know why I didn't know MD was the abbreviation. It's beautiful in the Midwest today. Or it's still cloudy, but it's nicer than yesterday. Yesterday was extremely active. Let's go see if there's anything else up here too. Just out of curiosity. Oh, look at that. That's the leading edge of this storm. That's the leading edge of the shelf cloud here. All right, we got another live cam here. We're gonna go to Arvada, Colorado, because it looks beautiful. Arvada is actually in a threat, I'm pretty sure, today for severe weather. I think eastern Colorado entirely is in a threat for severe weather. Yeah, I will probably be live every day over the next, like, 3 days by the looks of it. We've been live, I think, 7 straight days, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody wants to check, let me know. I'm pretty sure that's the number, though. Thank you, Darwin, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Well, these aren't severe, but these are beautiful storms out here in Tennessee. And again, there's so many live cams, and it's actually pretty windy on this one. There are just so many live cams out here on Radar Omega out in Tennessee. It's pretty beautiful. Is that a fire? Right there? Or am I just seeing things? Is that... I can't tell what that is. Or is that just, like, something else? I don't think that's a fire. It just looks weird. Or maybe it is. Somebody's saying yep. Is that a fire? Some type of smoke? Interesting. Why is Arkansas in the thumbnail? Well, there was a threat for severe weather today. We made this thumbnail before the 3 p.m. update. There was originally a threat. There's no longer a marginal threat. For most of the state, at least. I did not update the thumbnail. I just went live with the thumbnail we had for today. We got a risk of whales by the looks of it out here in the Mississippi Valley. For what it's worth, this risk down here is done. So, for the most part, it's done. They actually just canceled that severe thunderstorm watch, I think. We were just talking about how they'll probably cancel that. Yeah, they canceled the severe thunderstorm watch. That was pretty good timing. Across parts of the Mississippi Valley. There is going to be a growing threat, though, over the next few hours with some storms that'll fire up here in parts of Oklahoma and Texas. I'm not expecting tornadoes out of this, but damaging winds and hail will be a possibility. This storm east of Hollister actually looks pretty impressive. We do have a live cam in Kewanna, Texas. We have a couple of them, which is not far from this area. And this storm going towards Granfield right now, velocities are upwards of 75 miles per hour. That's actually a pretty impressive storm here, too. Indianapolis is done. Yeah, for anybody in like the Ohio Valley, I mean, Ohio's still a low risk on the east side of the state. Further west, you're done. Again, we just didn't have time to update the thumbnail. I wasn't expecting to go live at all up until that warning got issued. And I looked at the storm, I'm like, we should go live. Thank you, Yahoos, for the $5 super chat. Hey, no problem. We try to go live as much as possible, especially for more significant activity. Look at this. Wow, that is a explosive thunderstorm. This is the eastbound camera in Quanah, Texas. That is an explosive storm right there. Let me fix this camera. There we go. That's a pretty storm, though. Let me try to put him in the shot a little bit more. This is on the virtual rail fan. It's a nice little anvil there, overshooting cloud tops. Big explosive updrafts in the middle of that. That's going to definitely be a hailstorm. There's no doubt about that. I think that storm right now is warned for ping pong ball-sized hail. Risk for southeast Massachusetts, just wind. I check on New York City. I will check on it in a few minutes. Main concern there will be wind. Oh, there goes some flying birds. Main concern anywhere there is going to be wind. I don't really expect a tornado risk to materialize there. I'd be surprised if we had a tornado risk materialize in that particular area. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a big day. We'll be live tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, for at least a few hours. Tomorrow looks like a bigger tornado threat, actually, than anything, and hail risk across parts of the northern plains in particular. Will the old Max thumbnail ever make a comeback? Are you talking about the grandpa? No, probably not, honestly. That's a one-time and done sort of deal. All right, let's go back to here. So this is the storm that we're talking about. Pretty impressive anvil there. Let's put this on the right side of the screen. We'll make it a little bit easier here. And we'll go back to the other places in a second. Let me just pop that up on here. That's a pretty cool looking storm right there. This is like the time of the year that if you're a storm chaser, you live for. Like this is the time of the year. You got discrete storms popping up in the southern plains, just kind of random summertime thunderstorm development. We got also some storms, by the way, in the Oklahoma Panhandle. The threat was originally up to 70-mile-per-hour winds and 2-inch hail. That has been downgraded to quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. That storm activity that we were looking at on the Arvada, Colorado camera is mostly just showers. There isn't a whole lot of severe weather there, but we could see some gusty winds. We apparently have a train of storms over here in this is in Utah. So we actually have some severe weather out there. Got a severe thunderstorm watch in Idaho. We're not really going to cover that, but that's an area that does have a risk of severe weather. Back over in New York, we do have some severe weather that will be approaching here with mainly a wind threat right now. We are going to see if we have any sort of shot of this right now and see if we can see a shelf cloud. But this is going to be more than anything a wind threat right now heading towards New York City. So if you are in New York City, be prepared for the wind threat more than anything. I would not expect much else, but we're going to see if we can see anything on this. Any Dragon for becoming a 1-month member? And while I look to see if we have anything there... Actually, let me look real quick. The amount of traffic cams in New York is insane. Holy cow. There's like a million traffic cams. I'm not seeing a shelf cloud yet, but again, main concern right now will be wind. We do actually have a little storm that fired up out in front of us near New Haven. That is going to be mostly wind as well. Do have some storms that have been kind of training here across parts of Massachusetts. These are going west to east. It's going to predominantly be a wind and hail concern. We could get an isolated tornado out of this activity, but again, the concern's pretty low. New severe thunderstorm warning east of Pittsburgh, and they have not added a new tornado possible label to this, mainly because there's not really any rotation anymore. But we do have a big surge of wind near Monroeville. It's going to be traveling right along Highway 30, and this will continue to pose a potential, at least, for some damaging winds that are upwards of 70 miles per hour. That'll go towards Janet, Greensburg, Latrobe, Derry, Those areas will be in the track of it down the road. So again, moving east, southeast. We actually have a camera. Let me see if we can see anything here. All right, we have a camera in Irwin, so once this storm gets closer, we're going to check this out. Because we do have the main surge of wind is in this yellow area. Velocities are actually upwards of 86 right now on this. At least in one spot. Let's see. These winds might be upwards of 70 to 80 miles per hour right now. Just south of Monroeville in Pennsylvania. It's actually pretty significant. Huh. A bit stronger than I thought it was. But if you're in this warning, I would treat this as if it is a tornado warning, because there could be some falling trees and all that sort of jazz, which can definitely be pretty dangerous. Obviously, you don't want to be caught near a window when trees are, falling down and all that sort of stuff. But again, that'll be moving east-southeast over the next several minutes. The main concern, again, being damaging winds. West Virginia, predominantly going to be just isolated storms. We don't really have anything organized here. And maybe just an isolated hail or wind event. Not expecting anything tornadic at this point, so I would not be too concerned about that. We do have the storms rolling through parts of Tennessee. Again, all these are just mostly gusty winds. You might see a shelf cloud. We did see one earlier. This is the view of that right now. The shelf cloud does not look very impressive, but it is here. So, again, this is the area to watch for here. Wow, okay.
A new tornado warning.
So that storm that we were just looking at near Pittsburgh actually just got a new tornado warning. There is a little couplet that was developing. Let's check out the velocities here. So if we have a tornado, it's going to be near Trafford. There's no debris signature yet. Let's check out the velocities. So again, brand new tornado warning in Pennsylvania. If you are in this warning, seek shelter, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and interior room of your home or building. I'm not seeing a debris signature. I'm just trying to see what the storm relative velocities look like. This is for those in Delmont, Claridge, Manor, just north of Irwin. I saw somebody comment about Irwin. It's just north of Irwin. This is for Janet, Pennsylvania, Level Green, Pennsylvania, Pitcairn, Pennsylvania. All those areas in the track of this. There is actually a really strong inflow on this. Again, we got another little hook on this. Another potential for a QLCS tornado. And I think we have a tornado that might be on the ground right now. Near Trafford. Got a little debris signature, possibly. Let's check out the velocities again. Yeah, that's probably a tornado. So we at least have a tornado more than likely on the ground right now near Trafford. So this is again near Trafford in Pennsylvania. Just southeast of Monroeville and south of Murraysville. And if you're in the pink polygon, get to your safe place. Get away from windows and get on the lowest floor possible. This is a tornado that is likely on the ground right now. I'm going to give it one more scan and see if we got a more definitive debris signature, but it looks like we do have at least a small tornado on the ground near Trafford, which will be going right towards Penn Manor, Paintertown, Claridge, Delmont, New Alexandria, Luxor, Bovard, all those areas will be in the track of it. And it's going to be approaching the north side of Greensburg, which is also another populated area here in southwestern Pennsylvania. But yet again, another tornado that has dropped. It's at least a small tornado southeast of Monroeville. At least that's what we think it is. Again, it's not officially confirmed. That one little CC drop is not going to fully confirm this. We'll have to give it one more scan and we'll see what it looks like. But I am leaning towards this being a tornado. It's another generic QLCS tornado. We had something like this literally like 25 minutes ago. It looks basically the same. Waiting for the radar update here. You know, any friends or family in this warning, make sure to give them a call or text and make sure that they're getting to their safe place away from windows and on the lowest floor possible, as there is a likely tornado right now southeast of Monroeville. Moving east-southeast towards Delmont will be the next in track of this. All right, here's the latest scan. Let's see if it clears up anything. Yeah, that's a tornado. There's at least a small tornado on the ground near Deer Run. That matches up as long as the velocities are still strong. This is right where it would be. So, tornado heading towards Claridge in Pennsylvania. As long as everything matches up, which, yeah, looks like a pretty clear tornado. I mean, the velocities don't have to be super tight here. This is at least a debris signature right over where this tornado would be. So we at least have some sort of small tornado right now near Deer Run. Moving east-southeast near Interstate 76. It will be, again, approaching Claridge, just northwest of the Jeanette area. And that's, again, moving east-southeast right now. But that's a pretty clear debris signature still on this storm that's moving east-southeast. So again, get to your safe place if you're in this pink polygon. We got at least a small tornado on the ground from what we are at least seeing here on radar. It'll probably get officially confirmed in a moment as long as this kind of stays as is. It's, again, another QLCS tornado. Right towards Jeanette, north side of Greensburg will be in the track of this over the next several minutes. I'm keeping a close eye on these like live cameras too to see if we can see anything. I'm not seeing anything clear right now. The traffic cameras in this area are a bit too far to the north to actually see this. There is a camera in Irwin, so we might see something there, but I have my doubts. So we're gonna, if we can get some sort of visual of it and confirm it more, then we'll let you know. But that's at least a small little tornado near Deer Run, little debris signature right now. Probably picking up some branches or something like that. But you definitely need to get to your safe place. Again, flying debris can be dangerous, and you never know. It could go stronger. You never know. I don't know if there's an official survey on the Whitman tornado. I heard that it was an EF2, but I'm not sure if that's officially confirmed. I saw a couple people say that. I never saw anything official from the National Weather Service, though. Still got a little tornado right now. It's approaching Interstate 76 and Highway 128 or 130, sorry, here in Pennsylvania. This is again just southeast of Pittsburgh. Still got a small little tornado there. Again, if you're in Claridge, Pennsylvania, if you are in New Alexandria, Bavard, north side of Greensburg, again, make sure that you're getting to your safe place. Likely at least just had a brief tornado there. Still possibly on the ground. The rotation's just slightly weaker than before, but it's still strong enough for there to be a tornado. We could have a brief intensification, and it could obviously drop again if it's not already on the ground, which this is now officially a confirmed tornado.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
So this is a confirmed tornado just southeast of Monroeville, just updated on here. It is radar confirmed. So again, near Jeanette, moving east at about 50 miles per hour. This is a fast-moving tornado. So if you are in this warning, again, get to your safe place. We do have a tornado that is in progress near Highway 130. Again, this is currently moving east-southeast. It'll be approaching Bavard, and the north side of Greensburg will be in the track of this over the next several minutes. So again, this is a confirmed tornado moving east-southeast. It's been on the ground probably for about 5 or 6 minutes now from what we've seen. So we'll see what the next debris signature shows and see if this is still, chugging along here. It's very possible it will be. Just gonna wait for another radar scan here. Here's the latest scan. Still got a little bit of maybe a debris fallout. It doesn't look as much like a current tornado, but we'll see what the velocities show. Yeah, there is a turnpike video, but it's still a little bit further down to the southeast. It's near Irwin. I'm not seeing anything on that camera right now. Wow, if you just heard that, that's some close lightning in my area. Seems like we have... This is the second stream in the last week that we've had a thunderstorm on stream. That came out of nowhere. Yeah, that right there. If the tornado is still on the ground, it's going to be right there. There's at least still some sort of debris, so... Probably at least a debris fallout at the bare minimum. I'm going to real quickly check on some of the other activity here real quick. Just make sure we're not missing anything. Back over near New York City, we are again just dealing with mostly a wind threat here. I'm not seeing much of a tornado risk at this point. Really haven't seen any tornado risk on this activity this entire time. It's been very minimal, to say the least. The rotation just hasn't been there. So the storm's going towards New York City, mostly a wind concern. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in Virginia for wind. Up near Harrisonburg, we have another one in Maryland, just wind. And then we have a few storms over in Texas and in Oklahoma. This storm actually going towards Vernon is moving west, which is kind of crazy. Gives you an idea of how the steering is down there today. But aside from that, there's nothing too crazy. The storm in Bryan County, Oklahoma, by the way, was just upgraded to 70-mile-per-hour winds and 2-inch hail. So just heads up. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is where our confirmed tornado is. It was on the ground for probably about 5 or 6 minutes. It might not be on the ground anymore, but we at least still have a small little debris signature. It's not much, but there's at least probably some branches or something like that that might still be up there in the sky between Highway 130 and Claridge. So again, if you're in the pink polygon, continue to stay in your safe place, away from windows, and on the lowest floor possible. Thank you, Nick, by the way, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Yeah, I'm not seeing a clear view right now of being able to see this. Maybe in a few minutes, but just nothing close by on this. Here's the latest scan. If we still have a tornado, it's going to be located near Claridge. Let's see what this CC shows. Why is Ohio lit up in the thumbnail? Well, you were originally in the risk, and I'm going to probably have to repeat this a few times, but our thumbnail today was made before the outlook at 3 p.m., which even then you are still in the risk technically at 3 p.m. Central Time. But I was not able to change it. I was not expecting to go live today. I just had the stream set up the entire time in case we had to. There was actually a tornado warning in Northeast Ohio, though, earlier. See what the velocity show here in a second. I just want to point out, right side of your screen, Quanah, Texas. Pretty impressive anvil right there. Big thunderstorm. That's a supercell producing big hail and wind just east of Quanah, Texas. We are going to definitely keep you posted on that storm activity, too. Pretty impressive storm. Really impressive anvil, too. All right, here's the latest velocities update. And for those that are wondering, this storm here did produce a tornado back west of Pittsburgh briefly. Back near, it was near Santiago and Oakdale. So it was west of Pittsburgh. That's where we had our initial tornado with this storm. And it's the same storm, by the way. And now we've just had a second tornado back over south of Monroeville. And that is now probably lifted near Claridge, is like at least what we're thinking. So I'm not seeing any sort of debris signature anymore. So I don't think this is on the ground anymore. But I do think it was on the ground at least for a few minutes there. American, I highly recommend watching my video today for more details on the weather across the country for the next few days. We talk a lot about that stuff in our videos. I recommend always watching our videos before these streams and such. By the way, chat, I did see that. I saw those live cams. They're on the main site too. Looks like we actually might have another couplet. Yeah, we got two. We got this is the initial area of rotation. We got a new one just south of Delmont that might produce a tornado. So we actually have two different couplets here that are rotating. It's gonna be moving east towards New Alexandria near Route 22. That's gonna be riding right along that area. The other one's going towards Luxor and Bovard. We got two different couplets. Could have twins, or that one on the south side might just occlude, and the other one up north might take over and dominate. It's like watching Longhorn Steakhouse and Outback Steakhouse in a battle right now. The northern one is Longhorn Steakhouse. It's winning. That's what I think is going to happen here. I think this northern one's probably going to take over and be stronger in the next scan. Because that area of rotation looks like it's now newly developing on this. So again, in Pennsylvania, this is east of Monroeville and east of Pittsburgh. It's going to be eventually going into more suburb areas now of Pittsburgh and eventually kind of going towards the southern side of the state. Long term, this cluster of storms will be just kind of moving east and east-southeast. Altoona will be in the track of probably a wind threat. Chambersburg and Bedford might be a bit more into the very low tornado risk down the road, but it's kind of going this direction. So Johnsburg more in track of it more than anything. I'd say more of a wind threat anywhere else. And even then, I don't know if this is really going to last that much longer, this particular threat. I think this wind threat is only going to last so much longer. And there you go. So this rotation is occluded. New area of rotation developed near the, this is updated, and it's actually still a confirmed tornado. So this is confirmed.
This is an urgent alert.
Rotation.
A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
So this is still a confirmed tornado. Going in the direction right now of New Alexandria. So if you're in the pink polygon, again, make sure that you're in your safe place. This northern area of rotation right here is the area where we do think a new tornado is dropping or has dropped. And again, this is in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania. Just outside of Pittsburgh. Trees down on some homes in Pittsburgh. That's not good. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the winds got really high there. Got really high. We have a severe thunderstorm watch that was just issued, and this is an area that we were just looking at. Right side of your screen is one of those storms. That's across parts of North Texas and southern Oklahoma. This is the first time in a while we've had a watch down there. And that's not super common for this time of the year, for what it's worth. It does not happen very often. Ow. All right, we'll see what the next scan shows, and there you go. That is a tornado. South of Congruity. That's your debris signature. So we got another tornado that has just dropped. Another small one, but another tornado, nonetheless. Southeast of Delmont in Pennsylvania. So that's the new one. Seeing that more clearly. That velocity scan is actually pretty strong. I would not be surprised if we got something a little bit more, you know, at least stronger here than what we've seen so far near Congruity and Shieldsburg and New Alexandria. It's another QLCS tornado, so this will probably be another quick one, but it'll probably be on the ground for at least 5 or 6 minutes, maybe a bit longer. That is another tornado that is on the ground. All right, there's your debris signature. Moving east. Traveling right along Highway 22 right now. Again, if you're in this warning, get to your safe place, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and in an interior room of your home or building, as this is still producing a risk for tornadoes. This is on the ground, at least for the time being. PA Storm Trackers is chasing. I don't know if they're actually chasing. Let me double check. I think they were just traveling. Yeah, they're just traveling. I was about to say, if they were chasing, I'd have them up. But I don't know where they are right now. I think they're just traveling state to state. I think they're in the northern plains, if I'm not mistaken. So again, another tornado on the ground near Congruity, going towards New Alexandria. If you're just tuning in, this is a storm, a little cluster of storms that's now produced 3 separate tornadoes in Pennsylvania. One west of Pittsburgh, and the other 2 east of Pittsburgh. So they've all been brief so far. They've only been on the ground for about 5 or 6 minutes for the most part. But obviously there's a chance that we could see some more damage. And it looks like we already have that tornado probably occluding already. At least from what we're seeing on the debris signature. Let's see what the velocities show. Tell you about Janetville? Or Jeanette? Jeanette's not really in the track of this. Jeanette's already been passed by the tornado risk. The only thing that would be happening there at this point would be wind. Where the rotation is, it's going east. It's not going your direction. It's going away from you. So the only area that I'll be watching for this threat is right now Blairsville, which will probably get a new tornado warning in a second for like Blairsville and Robinson. Maybe Blacklick as well. Derry, those sorts of areas. This is moving pretty much due east, so I think we'll get a new tornado warning in a moment. This storm doesn't look like it's letting up anytime soon. It's actually been, you know, chugging along here for quite a bit now. This is the radar confirmation, by the way, back over in Trafford, Pennsylvania, for those that are maybe weather geeks or just wanting to learn a bit more about weather. The National Weather Service basically said, radar confirmed tornado debris signature, which is a TDS with correlation coefficient, drop out to about 0.865. For those that don't know what that number means, the higher the number, usually is less significant debris when it comes to a tornado, so that is a less significant tornado more than likely. Doesn't always mean it's less significant, but in this case it probably was at least something smaller. You know, the lowest numbers that you usually get on tornadoes is like 0.2 or 0.3 on the CC, and we can actually show you those numbers whenever we get another debris signature. And a strong velocities couplet, which matches up with this particular tornado. Now, from back here, if we go back a few scans, I'll quickly show you that TDS signature here. So this one at first dropped right here. Now the debris radar, the correlation coefficient, this percentage can be used as the CC radar. That's basically going to give you a number. So 0.86, that's again typically something that's not, you know, picking up substantial debris, at least at the bare minimum. Probably like branches or something like that. A little bit lower on the back side of it, but once again, it's
a new tornado warning.
It might just be some sort of contamination. New tornado warning for Westmoreland County in Pennsylvania. This is going to be, again, radar indicated, which actually could be on the ground again. That rotation is tight again. That, I think, is on the ground. That actually could be a strong tornado. Let's see what the CC shows. That looks really strong. Reflectivity and CC have not updated yet. That is really strong rotation. That's going right towards Derry, Hillside, West Fairfield. That is really tight. That's the tightest rotation that we've seen so far. Everything else that's dropped has been pretty... wow, we don't even have the debris signature on that. That's actually crazy with how strong that is. We could have a tornado dropping, though, near New Alexandria. There's a chance it's on the ground, too. We just don't have a CC drop yet. Sometimes that happens. See what the reflectivity shows. This is, again, Derry, Millwood, and New Alexandria, Pennsylvania until 8:45 Eastern Time. I am shocked that that's not showing a debris signature with how tight that is. This is still a confirmed tornado, so this is still on the ground. They just updated the warning.
This is an urgent alert. A tornado is on the ground. Seek shelter immediately.
So this right here is still an observed tornado. It's radar confirmed as of right now near Latrobe, approaching New Alexandria. This looks like a tornado to me, even though we don't have a debris signature. It's gonna be moving towards Derry, Hillside, West Fairfield, south of Robinson, south of Torrance, south of Byardstown in Pennsylvania. Again, this is outside of Pittsburgh. This storm has now produced around 3 or 4 different tornadoes at this point, from what we know, all of which have been radar confirmed thus far. We'll see what the next scan shows, but I mean, again, very strong rotation right now. So there is a chance that this could be a bit of a stronger tornado than what we've seen so far. This has continued to organize quite a bit, which is, again, surprising. The reflectivity has not updated, but that's where we're looking. Stay humbled. I would watch my video from today for that. We talked more about North Dakota then. I will talk about it probably at some point in the live stream, but I'm not going to talk about it now. Today is almost a tornado outbreak. I don't know if I would consider 6 brief tornadoes to be a tornado outbreak, honestly. Like, 6 tornadoes in a 12-hour period, by definition, is a tornado outbreak, but, like, I don't know. 6 brief tornadoes. It just depends on whatever else happens after this, but it's all been the same storm. The storm has a history of producing tornadoes at this point. It's been pretty impressive. See what the velocities show here. Don't jinx it. I did not have Culver's today, for what it's worth. We did not jinx it that way, at least. We still don't have a debris signature. Let's see what the velocities show. Looks a bit weaker here. It's the latest scan, so possibly occluding. It's happened a few times, though. It could reorganize again. There's still a possibility that this is on the ground, though. Continue to stay in your safe place. You're in this warning. Rotation, at least on the latest scan, is a bit broader, but we've seen this several times where it's recycled, so I would continue to stay in your safe place if you are in Derry or Hillside, Pennsylvania, as we could still get another tornado to spin up with this. Again, QLCS tornado threat is what we're looking at right now, as this cluster continues to move eastbound. Thank you, Anna, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Same thing to Nikki. Welcome to the Velocities. Right now, this is going more in the direction of Johnstown and eventually King and Interstate 99. It's tracking east-southeast right now. So that's the direction of this storm. But it has dropped about 3 or 4 different tornadoes from what we know. So it's been a storm that has a history of producing tornadoes. With that said, I have to get my water because I wasn't prepared to go live. Give me like 2 seconds. I'll be like back in 1 second. Alright, I had to get my water. I had like no water in my bottle. What's gray on velocities mean? It just means neutral velocities. And when it's in between green and red like that, that usually indicates broader rotation, depending on what it looks like, but that's a bit broader than before. It's still moderately strong compared to what we have seen, but it isn't a bit more of a broadening stage it looks like right now, but it could recycle and strengthen, so. This new warning for reference is still radar indicated. This one was confirmed. So that's going to expire in 3 minutes. But I'm not seeing a debris signature right now. I'm not seeing any sort of TDS, like tornadic debris signature. We're not seeing that right now. So that's good news, but it could still drop again. Velocities going away from the radar do remain strong, a bit weaker going towards the radar, but that's where we're watching for the potential for a tornado. From Ash Tabola, Ohio. Been a follower for a while now. I love watching your streams of storms. Yeah, the flash flooding's been crazy in the northern tier of the country. And unfortunately, it's going to stay a very active weather pattern for the next several weeks. Across like the Midwest and the northern plains. So those areas, you know, you can continue to expect lots of rain. And flooding is going to continue to be a problem, especially for Minnesota, unfortunately. I do appreciate the $10 super chat. Thank you, Dubs, for becoming a member. Thank you, Milky Way, for the 2 months. Thank you, Podcast, for becoming a member. You drink more water in one stream than I do in a day? Well, I have to keep my voice, you know, good to go. Like, that's one thing that you need to make sure that you have your voice good to go. It's a big deal. If I don't drink water, I'm going to lose my voice pretty quickly. You know, a few years ago, when I first started doing severe weather coverage, and by the way, this tornado I don't think is on the ground anymore, so we're still watching it. I'm just letting you know, I don't see it on the ground. But a couple of years back when I started to do live streams, I would lose my voice after like 6 or 8 hours of streaming. I wouldn't be able to stream the next day. I don't think it was related to water, but over time, my voice has just been built different, so I don't know. I had that problem though initially. And I've talked to a lot of TV meteorologists, and a lot of them say, like, they don't drink milk, they don't drink soda before live streams or anything like that. Now, for me, I drink soda. Like, I'll drink soda sometimes before or even during a live stream, but like, you know, more than anything, I at least try to avoid milk. Milk is definitely something that will sore out your throat. I've tested that personally. Personal experiment. I did it recently. And yeah, that was not a fun time. My voice kind of felt raspy. This observed tornado warning is about to go away. We're going to be done with that, and then we'll be back onto this tornado warning that is radar indicated near Derry, Pennsylvania. Rotation is a little bit broader, moving eastbound, but it is still strong enough to the point where we could get another tornado. So again, if you're in the pink polygon, continue to stay in your safe place. So that will be lifted in a moment. Okay, we have another tornado warning. Wow.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
So that's not on this storm. It's on the one back over south of Waynesburg. This is near Dunkard, Spring Hill, Smithfield, Fairchance, and Goddard's Fort. So if you're in this warning, seek shelter away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. The area of rotation will be right here. We actually have a live cam, I think, down here. Let me check. We've covered this area before. Literally covered it the other day. So again, just south of Waynesburg is where this warning is. And this is a live shot out of Waynesburg, which is just north of the warning. Oh, just lost it. Give me 1 second. Let me try that again. The area of rotation will be approaching Interstate 79, right just to the north of West Virginia. This is in Waynesburg. It's a bit, you know, a little bit windy. It's nothing crazy. Just some gusty winds and very wet out there. There was a little picture somewhere down here, though. Yeah, very dark skies. Very ominous near exit 2 on I-79. Good news is that we only have like one car on the roadway, but hopefully anybody on in this area near Interstate 79 is avoiding this area, just in case this does drop a tornado. This is for fair chance, Mapletown and Port Marion, Pennsylvania. And then the northern tornado warning. That one's occluding, it looks like, very quickly. Let's see what the velocity scan shows. This is crazy. I think we're going to get another... We'll have to watch this area, but we might get another tornado warning on that right there, going towards Blacklick, Pennsylvania. This rotation is much weaker and broader than before, though, so that one looks less concerning. It's not done, but I think it's at least less concerning for the time being. Yeah, it's moving east right now. That one might get warned up towards Blacklick if that, you know, it increases in terms of rotation. Thank you, Melissa, by the way, for the 20 gifted members. I appreciate that. Put some hearts in the chat for Melissa. Really do appreciate the generosity.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
This is... Wow, okay, well, that's pretty good timing. New tornado warning for Blacklick, Blairsville, Robinson, and Amarga. If you're in any of those locations, seek shelter, away from windows, lowest floor possible, and interior room of your home or building. We have yet again another tornado warning, and we called that pretty nicely there. Pretty good timing. Pennsylvania has decided to wake up now at 8:33 in the evening. The National Weather Service is watching my stream tonight. I doubt it. I mean, we've been looking at the same stuff, though. Why is my background pink? It's red. Why do people think that's red? Or pink, I mean. We'll have another radar scan in a second. Here's the latest scan. That one near Derry is continuing to weaken. This one near Blairsville, a little bit stronger. It's not really super tight, but it's on the north side of Bairdstown. Blairsville. All right, Blairsville. All right, north side of Blairsville. There's where the rotation is. It's not pink, guys. It's red. That is 100% red. But rotation not tight yet, but it's strong enough for there to be a tornado here in the next few minutes. So again, if you're in Robinson, Blacklick, Blairsville, here again in Pennsylvania, get to your safe place just to the east of Pittsburgh. And everything right now, I believe, is radar indicated. They just updated this one near Derry. So this is still radar indicated. It'll be condensed here in a second. It might be the camera, because it's red. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's right in my eye vision. I think it is the camera. I'll try to fix it later. I don't know if I can fix it. All right. Let's go back to velocities. So this warning's condensed. If you're in Latrobe, you're fine. Derry and Hillside, stay in your safe place. West Fairfield, stay in your safe place in Pennsylvania. And again, Robinson, Blacklick, and Blairsville. All of you still need to be in your safe places. This one looks a bit more concerning than the one that's further south. This one has a little bit more of a concerning signature to it right now. It looks more imminent. Velocities are updating now, so we'll see what it looks like. And this is the latest scan. It's not really coming together a whole lot. There's still some broad circulation, but it's not super intense right now. Back to the southern tornado warning near the Drunkard area. Still got some broad circulation here as well. So all three warnings right now are relatively broad, speaking of what we've seen so far. Nothing tight and confined, so nothing confirmed. But this one does still have at least some broad circulation in the mid-levels near Interstate 79, moving towards Dunkard, Point Marion, Spring Hill, Smithfield, and Fairchance, Pennsylvania. And very far northern West Virginia. Dunkard. Dunkard, sorry. I read that as Trunkard. My bad. Dunkard. I don't know why I thought that was Drunkard. Again, here are your tornado warnings right now across Pennsylvania. Then New York City right now under some severe thunderstorm warnings for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and that's it. So if you're in these areas, just stay away from windows. There could be some flying, you know, trampolines or debris or whatever it might be. They did add a tornado possible label to the storm here near Danbury in southeastern New York as well. I'm not really seeing any rotation. Maybe it might have been something from earlier. Let's go back a few scans. Yeah, there's like a little bit of broad circulation. Just nothing looks too concerning there. There's a very small radar hole right in that area. I'm not seeing anything super concerning there in southeast New York. I actually got a severe thunderstorm warning down here west of Washington, D.C. This will go into Maryland. Mainly for the threat of damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. This is the latest scan. Still some broad circulation near Dunkard and near Point Marion. Yeah, not really strong, but it's going to continue to move east over the next several minutes. And then the rotation up here near Blacklick has really broadened over the last several scans. So that QLCS tornado risk that we just had, it might already be winding down, but we'll see. It's I wouldn't say it's done, but it's not as concerning, at least as what we had a little while ago. It looked way worse earlier. So let's just hope this is kind of a little bit on the weakening trend. This is a live shot near this tornado warning. This is actually Ferguson Lane on US 22. Look how dark it is out there. Very ominous skies. This is right around where the tornado warning is. I think it's in it. Let me just double check real quick. That is near Clyde. Yeah, this is actually in the tornado warning. Actually, we're gonna watch this because the rotation's kind of on line for this right now. We're definitely gonna watch this camera and see if we can see anything. This is right on line for where the rotation's going on that northern tornado warning. Delaware will be mostly a wind threat tonight, for the person that just asked in the chat. Hey, by the way, J33 for the 1999, appreciate it. It is pink. Yeah, apparently everybody thinks it's pink. I'll figure it out later. Thank you, Vex, for becoming a Moderate Velocity member. Let's just stay on this for a second. Just try to see if we can see anything here. Apparently 80-mile-per-hour winds are currently being detected at Newark, New Jersey airport. Let me go to that real quick. Or that was a moment ago at least. Was that that's one of the terminal radar sites. Oh, that was just detecting really high velocities. Yeah, right in here. This is near Bayonne. That's gonna be moving right into Jersey City. Near 80 miles per hour right now. Near Bayonne and just east of Elizabeth. Let's go to this other site here. Yeah, we got a big surge of wind right now just south of Jersey City. It's a pretty isolated area there, but that's still going. Moving eastbound. It's an embedded downburst area of wind here in this thunderstorm near New York City. That's actually right in New York City. Could get interesting there. All the tornado warnings have been updated. All still include basically the same areas. We got a surge of wind again. The northern side of this would be the area where I would be watching for a new area of circulation, but it doesn't look imminent. It really just looks broad now again. I mean, we're not really seeing anything that looks organized. Before, it looked way more organized, and obviously this was the strongest couplet that we had thus far, which is a little while back. Now it looks more like a straight line wind threat with maybe some broad circulation between Blacklick and Robinson. Just not as much as before. We'll continue to monitor the situation, but it does not look at least as strong as before on those two tornado warnings. The one near Dunkard and Spring Hill, that one's still broad. It's been kind of broad this entire time. Even before it got warned, it's been kind of like the same thing this entire time. Just been a broad area of circulation. I don't see another radar site nearby, so this is our only one. But just broad circulation right now on that one, moving eastbound. Newark International Airport is at a ground stop. That makes sense. Stay zoomed out until the next radar scan. Just tuning in, by the way, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll keep you posted with the latest with severe weather coverage. Somebody just did a verification of my color, by the way. It is red. They have a whole color panel thing, and they actually verified the color is exact. It's a lighter red. It's near pink, but it's not pink. So somebody, a scientist or a color scientist, just sent me something on Twitter about that. Retweeted it if you need evidence. At Max Velocity WX on Twitter. Here's the latest scan near Robinson. Still a little bit of broad circulation here. It's not much, just a little bit. Let's go back to that live cam, because if there's a tornado, it's gonna be right in that area. This is right in the tornado warning. Near Clyde, Pennsylvania. I'm not seeing anything right now. I think we're looking in the direction, I think we're looking west here on this camera near Clyde. Any damage reports? We've had a lot of damage reports. Most of them not tornado related, a lot of them just wind related. I mean, today was expected to be mostly a wind threat, but we actually got a localized tornado risk that's kind of grown here tonight. Which is interesting. I'm still watching that camera to see if we see anything. I don't see anything right now, but keeping an eye on it because that is in the tornado warning here. And it looks like that rotation near Robinson might be trying to come together again. Where's Clyde? It's just north. Okay, so this is just north. So this rotation is going towards New Florence, Pennsylvania. That camera is just off to the north of this rotation. So we're not probably going to have a direct view of it. But that's the rotation right there. It's actually a bit stronger on the latest scan, so it looks like it's trying to come together again. The one near Dunkard just doesn't look very impressive to me. Also, back in Texas, just a quick heads up, we are going to be watching these storms because this is an interesting setup, but we do have some hail right now and wind moving into Sherman County with damaging winds up to 60 and quarter-sized hail in North Texas. And then back over just east of Kewanna, we got some storms that blew up here with the similar threats. Very right side of your screen there, we have a virtual rail fan in Kewanna, Texas, looking in the direction of that supercell. So kind of a little cool thing there. Saw a pretty big anvil on that earlier, which was pretty cool. This tornado warning has been condensed. That's the main area of circulation. This warning will probably get canceled in a moment, is my guess. Or actually, that's going to expire. So that's going to expire in a minute. And so we'll just have this tornado warning and the one in southern Pennsylvania. Again, this is in Indiana County and Westmoreland County in Pennsylvania for this warning. And then the southern tornado warning is for Greene County and Fayette County, Pennsylvania, and then Mongolia and Preston counties in West Virginia. So those are the locations embedded in the warnings. Well, this is where the area, this is the tornado warning cell right now. This is live inside of it now. So we do have a view right now, at least just north of this couplet. Not seeing anything too crazy out there. A little gusty for winds. That's about it. Thank you, Kathy, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Thank you, Rise, for the $5 super chat. We got another color scientist here in the chat. It's gonna be a whole debate on Twitter. See it happening. Some lightning here. A little bit of lightning. This is from Igor on Twitter. Whoa, what was that? Was that a flash of lightning? It was really bright pink for that being lightning. Must have been really close. The wind's definitely picking up here, though, now. That was a flash. That was not hallucination. That was definitely a flash. I don't think that was a power flash. It didn't look like one. I mean, I feel like this camera would not be working if we had a power flash. Very windy. Wind's definitely picking up now. Yeah, definitely. It definitely got windy here. It wasn't windy initially, but now it's definitely picking up. It's kind of the calm before the storm. You can't really see the trees, but on the left side, there are trees there. They are swaying quite a bit. So it's definitely windy. We have confirmed wind right now near New Florence. Let's see what the velocities look like. This is 4 minutes old. It'll update in a second. Thank you, Eric, for the $9.99 super chat. Appreciate the generosity. So that rotation is actually, it's not far from the Clyde area. This is the area of rotation, though. It's near Seward, near Kramer. So that's where the area of circulation is currently. It's not as strong as before, but it's trying to come together again. The other thing with this is that it's probably going to end up being a rain-wrapped area of circulation, which does mean that the potential here for a bit more of a dangerous tornado is possible. We could end up getting something that's rain-wrapped, and people that are out on the roadways might not have as much of an idea that this is on the ground. So again, if you're in this area, definitely make sure that you're continuing to heed warning and be ready to get to your safe place. If you're on the north side of Brownstown or Johnstown, going towards West Point, Mundy's Corner, New Germany, Portage, and Summer Hills, South Fork, and Wilmer. Over here in parts of southwestern Pennsylvania, as we could get a new tornado warning on this. We'll see. I'm not sure if we will, but it is possible. That's rotation that's higher up. But there's still enough rotation, I think, that we might get a warning. I think the next velocity scan will give us more of an idea if there will or won't be one on this storm. This is, I believe, another CWA region. I could be wrong, but I think it might be. Yeah, this is a different CWA region, so we'll see if they issue a warning or not. But this is a different region. This is not the National Weather Service of Pittsburgh that would issue this warning. It'd be the State College, NWS. It is still radar indicated for the time being. I don't know. I don't see enough there for this to be a new tornado warning, but it's still possible. I just don't see enough right now on the velocities. Still some rotation, just not a lot. It's not as much as we once had. The other thing is it's in between a radar hole, so that makes it a little bit more dangerous. Still got damaging winds upwards of 60 miles per hour moving across Long Island, so unfortunately the storms are going to be rolling across Long Island, New York here. Again, if you're in this area, main concern being damaging winds. I don't expect much of any other severe weather risk here aside from wind, maybe some hail, maybe a brief spin up. But the risk overall does look to be at least a little bit lower when it comes to the tornado risk here. The rise for the $5 super chat. I enjoy your content so much. Here's another $5 so I can tell you it's pronounced Reese, like geese. It's actually Reese's. That's how I pronounce it. This tornado warning probably won't continue, from what I'm seeing. I don't think it's going to continue. The warning out in front of this is for damaging winds up to 60. The rotation on radar has been a bit broader. It's at least broad circulation right now moving eastbound, but it's not as strong as before. The southern tornado warning still has broad circulation near Spring Hill and Dunkard and Smithfield. But as I mentioned before, that also is still kind of on the broader side of things. It has been really this entire time. Still a bit more concerned about this storm for a QLCS tornado before this thing starts to kind of weaken out. Thank you, Defiance, for the $9.99. Appreciate the generosity. Do I ever sleep? I do. Believe it or not, I somehow do. Sleeping does exist. It's shocking. Wow. We got a rainbow intercept from PA Storm Trackers. I might pull them up here in a second. I don't even know where they are. But I'll pull them up in a second if we have that view. It's crazy. That's not the right stream.
Hello,
Never mind.
everybody.
Give me 1 second. I gotta fix that. Ignore the flashing lights. Trying to give you guys a view of this. Give me 1 second. It's crazy. Alright, let's do this. Look at that right there. If it loads. Look at that. I don't know where they are, but that's unbelievable. That is a PDS rainbow right there.
You're not gonna cut them out, you're not gonna see nothing.
Alright, here we go. Okay.
Where are they? I don't know what state they're even in. I don't know where they were going. I never really asked.
Here we go.
That is an unbelievable. That's a double rainbow
should be
too.
Good now that I have the hotspot. But big, beautiful rainbow there.
That's stunning. And I don't know where they are. Does anybody know where they are? Go find the pot of gold, because my goodness, that is an unbelievable sunset.
Behind the camera? That's a surprise feature. You gotta pay premium.
That's in Pennsylvania.
My face. No, I'm just kidding.
They're in Ohio.
But
really?
Yeah, look at that beautiful.
Actually, it makes sense with the sun angle.
Rainbow
That's
right
crazy. What an unbelievable sunset. And
somebody
rainbow,
should grab a
double
screenshot
rainbow.
of that and tag PA Storm Trackers in it on Twitter. Or
I'll give you the
Facebook,
science behind how
whatever
double
you
rainbows form, but I'm gonna keep it
Get a
above.
nice
I don't
screen
remember
grab of
anything
that.
from that class that I took about rainbows.
Because I can't
It
take
was
pictures right now because I'm holding two different things. So that'd be nice.
Difficult and somewhat boring. I could probably give you the scientific explanation if I had my notes out.
Wow, that is bright.
It's unbelievable.
That is bright, bright, bright. That is a perfect double rainbow. That's as good as it
New
gets.
Alexandria, Pennsylvania.
That is literally as good as
That's
it
where
gets.
they are. Oh, so they're actually just behind this tornado warning. That's actually kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, remember guys, if you are
Wow.
under a tornado warning,
I didn't know they were that
A
close.
lot of people like to be all, a lot of people
Beautiful.
like to
Absolutely
be all kind of.
stunning.
I don't want to use the word egotistical, but they like to be kind of egotistical and not follow the rules. All right, that's not going to get you anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere good if you're not paying attention. Do what the warning tells you. It's there for a reason. Get in the lowest, most
It just
secure room
looks
of
so
a home.
amazing.
Take
I'm gonna put
shelter.
this.
Even if
We're
there's
gonna go to
no
this screen. We're gonna go to here. We're gonna put it at the bottom right. Even though our screen is completely broken here. Don't ask what my recommended is. I don't know. That's incredible. All right, we still got the 2 tornado warnings. This one's gonna be let to expire. The other one down near Spring Hill looks pretty crappy too. I think both of these will be let to expire, both in 6 minutes, if not canceled. The main concern does look like it's gonna become damaging winds. We could still get another brief tornado. We're gonna continue to watch that closely. We actually got severe thunderstorm warnings in Boston, Massachusetts. That's gonna be for damaging winds up to 60. I'll continue to move west to east over the next several minutes. Near Boston, north of Brockton, and Randolph near Quincy. The main concern again being damaging winds there. Got a little bit of severe weather as well, still ongoing near New York City. Damaging winds up to 60, rumbling across the east side of New York City right now. The main concern again in this area is going to be the threat for damaging winds. Could still see some sort of isolated large hail as well, but I think the risk for hail is going to at least be a bit lower. I think we're looking more at a potential right now for wind. All right, so the main concern there is going to be wind as that moves east. Still got some severe weather in Northern Virginia. Again, the main concern with this is just damaging winds up to 60. Ordinary sort of severe weather for this time of the year. Really shouldn't surprise really anybody in those areas. We have had some storms in Tennessee. We've had some cool live shots, and this is another one. Stunning over here in northeastern Tennessee. Another shelf cloud. We got like multiple layers on this one too. 1, 2, 3. Got pancake stacks here. In northeastern Tennessee, we've had some stunning shots on, this is on the Radar Omega Cyclone Port. Really impressive. I think we have a couple others too, let me see. I'm not sure if we're going to see anything on these. Not really. Back over in Texas, we got severe weather happening obviously here as well. Main concern again is going to be damaging winds and hail. Wouldn't rule out something, maybe like a brief spit up, but I think the tornado risk here, it should be very close to zero. I know there looks like there's some rotation here south of Kingston, but that's more of just contamination, so not concerned about that. But hail is the main concern down here in Texas, and wind with any storms that explode. We also got a storm going towards Vernon, which is doing the same sort of thing. Mostly a wind concern as of right now. Storms in the Texas Panhandle and in the High Plains, mostly just gusty winds, really nothing severe over that direction right now. The tornado warning that was ongoing back over near Johnstown has now been canceled, and so that one's done for the time being. Could still see another one down the road, but the rotation is broader, and then the southern tornado warning, at least for the time being, is currently not looking too hot. It's been very broad rotation. I think that one will also probably end up getting canceled or just let to expire, one of the two. That is unbelievable. Look at the sunset. We were looking at the rainbow, but look at that sunset. We got a rainbow and sunset that are both PDS. It's unbelievable. This is in western Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. Okay.
Other than getting information.
That is extremely impressive.
I got your phone.
We'll keep them bottom right because they're probably gonna have a view of that for a little bit. The thunder in Boston is absolutely insane. The Boston storms did look interesting. Thank you, Emo, for the 2-month membership. I appreciate that. E-Cars to the $2 super chat. Again, main concern, it's very low at this point. I think the tornado risk after what we just saw is very low in Pennsylvania, but it's not zero, so continue to stay weather aware. I mean, this storm still has rotation. It's broad, but there is still some circulation there near Johnstown. So we could end up seeing another tornado warning down the road. We'll see. But I think the risk is at least lowering a little bit in this area. Gas is $2.98 in northern Minnesota. Really? That is extremely cheap. I saw in Illinois it was like $4 or $5. I saw somebody's Twitter post. It was absurd. Some of the prices for gas are just crazy right now. What's everybody's gas prices locally? Put them in the chat. I'm curious. Look at that sunset bottom right. Look at the shelf cloud in the middle. We have absolutely stunning views tonight. For a very low-risk day overall. We got a stunning view of a shelf cloud in northeast Tennessee. And we got an unbelievable rainbow and sunset in Pennsylvania. It's crazy. Thank you, Karen, for the 5 gifted members. I appreciate that. Put some hearts in the chat for Karen. And also, if you got a gifted membership, make sure to thank Karen. And also make sure to thank Marissa. If you got a gifted membership from her, appreciate the generosity. $3.94 in Utah. A lot of people saying between $3 and $4. Somebody said 128 Canada. I don't know what that means. Does that mean $128? Pretty good amount of lightning here too. That tornado warning still goes for 2 more minutes or so. Or actually 1 more minute. Or actually it should be canceled now. Or expired. Should be back to normal storms now. Should is the key word. There you go. Back to normal. Back to the screen. Let's go back to real quickly. Want to go back to Texas real quick. The Kewanna, Texas storm. I just wanted to check out. I want to see if we still have a live shot of that one. Wow, it's been kind of unbelievable in the Kewanna, Texas storm. Very ominous skies now in Kewanna. Earlier, we had a live shot of this being like full-blown, you know, huge storm. Let me zoom out here. I want to go back to a little bit in the past here. Let's go back to like half an hour ago. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it that long ago. It's on the virtual rail fan. You can just see how explosive that anvil is on the right side of your screen in Texas. Very impressive. That right there. That was a little while ago, and now we have all sorts of overshooting cloud tops, and so that storm has become a lot less visible. near Kawana. But very explosive storm, and that's the one that's producing some pretty large hail right now. Up to quarters now. It was a bit higher before. It's around quarter-sized hail. That's moving west, by the way. Hey, John, for the $9.99. Living in Indiana my whole life, it advertises itself. Everybody's accustomed to living in the Midwest. Do you call Indiana Ohio Valley or Midwest? Indiana, I consider Ohio Valley. Is that really the Midwest, though? I would consider it more... Wow, this is unbelievable. We've had unbelievable shots, but I would consider it more as being in the Ohio Valley, personally. This is the live radar Omega cyclone port. This is back up in... Wow, look at that lightning, too. This is back over in Jamestown. It's just a strong storm, but it's impressive. Got multiple layers on that shelf cloud, and you also got a very ominous storm rolling in here. And then bottom right of your screen, you got a PDS rainbow in western Pennsylvania. Hey, Robin, for becoming a minimum velocity member. Welcome to the Velocities. Yeah, whenever I talk about the Ohio Valley, I'm talking about Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, western Pennsylvania, Tennessee. That's really the main 4 states, though, that I would consider 4.25 if you want to include Pennsylvania as the Ohio Valley. Just personally, what I consider it as. Apparently 100,000 people are without power right now in Pennsylvania. Let me double check that. Wow, there are. There's over 141,000 people without power according to poweroutage.us. Look at that. Tons of people without power. I don't know what percentage that is, but that's probably about 2% of the state without power or so. It's an impressive storm. Again, this is in Northeast Tennessee. Impressive. What would I consider West Virginia? Mid-Atlantic? I don't know. That's just how I classify everything. That's kind of how I thought it was, though. A little scuddy thing over here. A little scuddy. Look at this thing kind of roll in. Again, you kind of see how the clouds kind of lift up. You kind of got that like little rising motion on the leading edge of this. Just kind of see it rising up. And again, this is a line of storms that's really a small cluster of storms, if you will, that's producing some gusty winds upwards of 50 miles per hour. Nothing more, really. Just an impressive storm overall. Thank you, Ash, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. It's a beautiful storm, though. It's rolling through. Thank you, Expert, for the super chat. So again, the Radar Omega Cyclone Port. This is back over in northeastern Pennsylvania. Exact location, Jamestown. Again, this is what we're looking at on radar. Just some strong storms. Really impressive view, though. I mean, this is right where it's going through. But again, you can just kind of see how this is all kind of like, you know, horizontally almost rotating here. It's kind of just kicking up into the storm. Lightning in the distance. Looks like the... probably there's an outflow boundary that's actually starting to pick up wind here, too. Kind of got a little scuddy lowering here. I don't think it's tornadic, but a little scuddy lowering there on the cloud base. It's been there for a few minutes. Hey, by the way, Amy, for picking up a Max Velocity t-shirt on shopmaxvelocity.net. Appreciate the generosity. And also thank you to Brock for doing the same. Thank you, Janine, from yesterday for the $5 donation. I did not see that, but I do appreciate your generosity. Well, the storm is now rolling through here. Back over in Jamestown, Tennessee. Yeah, again, over here on the left, I'm like 99% sure that's just a scuddy little lowering to the bottom of the storm. I don't think this is like a tornado imminent sort of thing. It's cool to kind of see the storm roll through. Who just turned on that light? Like, somebody's watching this stream and just decided, hey, we're gonna blare this light right into the camera. I mean, seriously, who put on that light? So, like, that was so random. Unless it's just like an automatic light. It's much nicer out here to the east in Knoxville. The skies look still pretty, you know, cloudy, but it looks at least nicer. Very low clouds here. We got some fog even. Some of the valleys. Thank you, Talbert, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. All right, back to New England. Just kind of a quick update. Most of these storms, again, just producing wind. Damaging winds up to 60 being the main concern near Boston. Nothing severe in this area. Did actually have a small little brief area of rotation northeast of Denham, but I don't think it's really anything concerning. Near Framingham, again, mostly just gusty winds. Flooding has become a concern as we have had training storms going west to east. So there is a potential now for some flash flooding anywhere from Springfield back through Worcester. Lightning, gusty winds, that sort of stuff is really the main concern in this area, with heavy rain potentially leading to flooding. We do have a line of storms that is going to be pushing right into parts of Connecticut, Western Massachusetts, and even Rhode Island eventually, and the main concern with this will be damaging winds. So if you're anywhere near Interstate 87, back in Danbury, near New York City, main concern with this will be wind as this continues to push to the east over the next little while. Back over in Northern Virginia, main concern down over this direction, damaging winds. Again, nothing really crazy with this activity either. This is not a repeat of the Maryland tornado outbreak. All right, this is very different in this sort of case, so we're not looking at the same sort of risk. Back over in Pennsylvania, we do still have a chance for an isolated tornado. The storm near Portage has had still some broad circulation, so I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting another tornado warning on this near Portage sometime down the road if it's able to organize. There has been rotation on this for a while. It has produced 3 to 4 tornadoes already in this live stream, and it's very possible that we do get another one down the road, but it's a low chance, but it's not zero, so continue to stay weather aware. Further north near State College, main concern, gusty winds. There are some storms along the West Virginia and Pennsylvania border that do have at least some severe weather associated with them. I don't know what's going on in this severe thunderstorm warning, but it looks like a pair of butterfly wings. I don't know what happened here. This is a very weird warning because the storm that's severe is here. This area here has just been excluded from this warning. We have this on our exclusive software as well. That's what the warning polygon looks like. It's this thing right here. So I'm not sure what happened, but somebody did an oopsie whoopsie right there on making that tornado or that severe thunderstorm warning. I don't know what's going on there. But anywhere in Farmington and southern Pennsylvania, the main concern will be damaging winds. I'm not sure what happened there, but it kind of almost looks like you got a rock being ready to be slungshot here. Looks like you could put a rock right here. Looks like somebody's pulling this back. Let's get the stick figure man right here. I'm not really great at drawing, but we can at least put a stick figure right here. This guy's holding it back with his 2 hands right there. I just removed his head. Oops. Looks like he's pulling a rock back right now in southwestern Pennsylvania. That's what it looks like. I don't know what to tell you. It looks like we're in the old civilization days when people were slinging rocks at each other. Well, that's happening. That's moving east, by the way. The storm's not moving to the west, even though that guy might be trying to pull it back that direction. I'm not sure if they're going to update this warning, but the storm over here near the Portage area in Altoona just got upgraded to a tornado possible label. So, still a chance for an isolated tornado. Yeah, we do have another wind threat now in Western Maryland for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Somebody sent me a photo, by the way, of that drawing. I'm gonna post that on Twitter. Somebody at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. I'm gonna post that. That's the funniest thing. And Pennsylvania, or anywhere in Kentucky and Tennessee, again, mostly just isolated gusty winds. Ohio is done. Indiana is done. You're in the thumbnail, but you're basically done. The only thing that's left is maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm, but just nothing severe really at this point. I know you're in the thumbnail, but it's more because I didn't have, you know, the ability to make a different thumbnail for today. So the thumbnail was just already like that. What in the world's going on right here? This is in Dayton, Ohio. Does anybody know what that is? Smokestack? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Just making sure we're all on the same page there. I didn't know what that was. Imagine that was like a Gustnado or something. That'd be crazy. Sorry, just posting something real quick. All right. Cool. Steam NATO, imagine. This is a photo from Kalalama or Lama on Twitter. This is an anvil back over in North Texas, back near Sherman. Pretty impressive storm there. Nice little anvil shape to it. Does anybody get a photo of this, by the way? I'm gonna post this on Twitter. Let me check. Somebody got a screenshot of this. At me on Twitter or message me. Por favor. There are some big trees back over here near Pittsburgh that are down. Look at all these black circles. These are all damage reports between Pittsburgh and Derry. So we got a lot of damage reports from these storms earlier. Which really should not surprise anybody with what we've been seeing. You know, if you were here at the beginning of the stream, we had some significant wind on the east side of Pittsburgh, or even on the west side of Pittsburgh. And so, a lot of damage reports across the board. Some of them just, a lot of these being emping reports, 3-inch tree limbs down, power poles down. Barn destroyed along Hannah's Town Road in Crabtree, Pennsylvania, from a possible tornado. That rainbow, by the way, that was on stream earlier, that was from Norwich, Ohio, from PA Storm Trackers. Those that are wondering. Looks like this the storm threat right now in Kentucky is starting to go down a bit. Again, just kind of a bowing out segment of gusty winds. Not really going to see any severe weather out of that. Still got some storms again in northeast Tennessee. Main concern here, again, predominantly just going to be gusty winds as well. So back to Texas. Got a little storm here in North Texas over near Sherman. So right now it's producing some wind. We do have a live cam here. Let me see if I can pull that up. Give me 1 second. I don't know what you're saying. I'm just going to say no. We do have a live cam in Lantana, Texas, so we might be able to see this storm. Yeah, here it is. Wow, look at that thing. This is the storm on the right. This is over in Lantana, Texas, just south of that storm that's producing 65-mile-per-hour winds. That is a big anvil. We saw that. We saw a different storm similar to this earlier. It's very bright. Looks like a sun shining. But massive anvil right there on the top of your top of the storm here, and then obviously you got exploding updrafts. Very impressive storm. Am I live now? No, I'm not live. This is all pre-recorded. The time also somehow got pre-recorded. It's like a sun-wrapped tornado. What? That'd be interesting. How's it going, Andy? Welcome back. I mean, if there was a tornado in there, I'd be really concerned. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's a very bright tornado if it was one. What are the gray boxes? Those are special weather statements. That's all that is. I'm gonna keep a eye on that, by the way, if anything gets more interesting. That's the storm, though. It's actually really impressive for what it is. Got a lot of strong storms back over in southwest Oklahoma and north central Texas. A lot of these are not moving. Again, main concern here will be gusty winds, some small hail. That's about it. Maybe an isolated severe storm, but nothing too crazy. This is the latest SPC outlook for tonight. So they have issued a they have issued a little bit of a new outlook here for tonight. So again, the main concern is now going to be focused across the high plains and the southern plains and also the east coast. Basically, they removed this area that we already saw that line of storms go through, which is not surprising. That was a threat that was supposed to happen really during the late morning and afternoon hours. Main concern still remains damaging wind and large hail. Large hail more of a concern across the western tier of this risk compared to the eastern tier. Wind threat still remains the same, anywhere from Kentucky back into southern New England. We also have a low tornado risk that still exists across the northeast. I really am not too concerned about this. Maybe one more tornado, but I don't see it getting much worse than what we've already seen. So that is what we're looking at in the latest outlook. Do have a new severe thunderstorm warning near Altoona. Main concern here is going to be damaging winds up to 60. They have removed the tornado possible label on this latest warning. Got some golf ball sized hail in Sherman. If you have any photos, message me on Facebook on North Texas Weather Center. I'll definitely take a look at those. Or actually, add me on Twitter if you want to. At MaxVelocityWX. If you do have any photos in general of any of the storms, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. The link to that is in the description down below. And there's also, you can just look it up on Twitter, and you should be able to find me pretty easily. Anyone chasing today? We have PAA storm trackers, but they're not really. They're kind of getting back to where these storms are, but the main thing that we saw with them was just the rainbow. But no storm chasers really today. Tomorrow we'll definitely have storm chasers tomorrow. I mean, we'll be live more than likely tomorrow. I don't see why we wouldn't. Huge risk tomorrow across the Great Plains. We got an enhanced risk anywhere from the western North Dakota areas back into parts of Nebraska. Got another one in Montana, back into northeastern Wyoming. Large marginal threat across the Rocky Mountains and back into parts of the central and southern plains. Main concern right now is damaging winds, but large to very large hail and tornadoes are a possibility. I would not be shocked if we have a 10% hatch tornado risk somewhere in here tomorrow. Strong tornadoes, definitely not impossible in this sort of environment. And honestly, I feel like we'll probably at least have one tomorrow. So definitely make sure that you are staying weather aware if you're in these areas. It does appear more likely than not that we could see a strong tornado tomorrow with one of those storms. This is the future radar for tomorrow. So just a quick glance at it. This is only North Dakota. I'll zoom out in a second. This is what we're concerned about. Anything that's discrete like this could produce an elevated tornado risk or even very large hail risk, and also damaging winds. So all modes of severe weather, all hazards possible, but anything that can stay discrete will be the most concerning for tornado risk, or a tornado risk. So this is going closer to about 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, storms firing up in Montana. They'll eventually move quickly into North Dakota, and eventually some more storm development in northwestern South Dakota. These storms will quickly develop and become discrete. Probably going to go semi-discrete eventually as well, right around about 6 or 7 o'clock. And then eventually they should go linear by about 8 to 9 o'clock. By the time they go more clustered and linear, it should be more of a wind concern. I don't expect as much of a tornado risk after that. And then after midnight, we're done for the most part with severe weather. So tomorrow's window for severe weather, it's not very long, but it is going to be potentially impactful to areas that are back up there in the northern plains. Central plains and southern plains, I don't see as much happening there, but we could see some damaging winds, hail, and maybe an isolated tornado or two. Thank you, Michael, for the $20 super chat. That's awesome. Glad I could help. It's good to hear. There's over 150,000 people without power, I think, now in Pennsylvania. That number keeps growing. Yeah, I think we're up to that now. Thank you, by the way, for anybody that sent me the photo of me slingshotting a person or a rock on that warning. I need to take a photo of this. This is back over to the live shot here in Lantana, Texas on this storm. And this is your storm right here that's producing that hail threat and wind threat. The other updraft has gotten killed out entirely. This is the other storm that was ongoing. Really weakened really quickly, so that thing's done. All right, that's tweeted on Twitter if you want to check it out at Max Velocity WX. Oh, look at that! You got a plane up there. I actually see the contrail too. I'm pretty sure there is a route here because this isn't that live cam is right about here. It's in Lantana. I'm pretty sure that leads to Dallas Love Field, if I'm not mistaken. Might be DFW Airport, but I don't think it is. I don't think these storms are going to make it to DFW. This storm might make it to like northern Denton or northern Collin County. I just don't see it being a significant storm by the time it gets there. I think daylight heating is going to kind of kill out the storm. It's 8:23 right now, at least in this time zone in Central Time. So I think overall the chances of this still being severe is low. Is my time behind? Or is my computer time ahead? My computer time says 8:23 Central Time, or it's about to be 8:24. My stream time is like a minute behind. I don't think... I mean, I don't know if that time is correct. I don't think it is. Unless my computer's just ahead. No, my computer's ahead. Okay. I was about to say, that's crazy. All right, my computer's ahead. I was about to say, I'm not on a 1 minute delay. I know that. That'd have been crazy. Still got a damaging wind threat, again, moving right across Long Island. Main concern, again, being damaging winds across this line. Not really expecting any more tornadoes out of that activity. And back over in Pennsylvania. And we're going to continue to stay live for at least a little bit longer, see if anything happens. But I think a lot of the threat right now is just wind. All right, the slingshot severe thunderstorm warning still ongoing. Got your little slingshot right here. I think that they actually issued a new polygon here for this warning, though, near Confluence. Main concern being damaging winds up to 60. That is still ongoing for the time being. Otherwise, though, again, most of these storms just wind producers up to 60. Nothing too crazy. I think overall the worst of the weather's done. Pretty rainy in Jamestown, Tennessee right now. Just gonna see if we can see anything cool here. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's having a good night so far. Hope everybody's relaxing, especially if you're in the Midwest after yesterday. Or even in the Central Plains. It's obviously been pretty crazy recently with the weather, but I am hoping that the worst of it is going to be done here for a little bit, but it looks like tomorrow might be another big day, at least in the Northern Plains. It's not a purple background. Okay, that's blue. There's no way you guys think that's purple. That is like a blueberry blue. I've got to change. I've got to figure out how to change though the color there, because it does. I think it's the exposure level. I have to change the exposure on my camera. Having birthday Chipotle sounds pretty good. I kind of want to have Chipotle. I haven't had that in a while. I had Wawa for dinner. I seem to have Wawa all the time. Okay, there's no way you guys think that's purple. There's no shot. Okay, let me see if I can fix my exposure here. Configure exposure. Whoa, okay, that's interesting. Let's go back to being normal here. Okay, that's bright. Okay, nice. We're just gonna keep it there. We're not gonna play around with that. Alright, that was something. Saturation, maybe? Oh, now I look like I'm in the 1920s. Oh, now we're back in the 1900s. Wow. Okay, we need to go back to, I guess that. My other camera didn't pick it up like that, which is weird. This camera does. Very strange. We do actually have a new severe thunderstorm warning for northern Denton County and northwestern Collin County. Golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds will be possible with this storm. This is going to continue to move southeast, or southwest, sorry, over the next several minutes. In Cleveland for the 199. 60% chance National Hurricane Center updated invest in Atlantic. I'm going to check that out in a second. Give me 1 second. Okay. I will check that in a second. I just got to post this for North Texas stuff. Where's my link? Right there. Alright, let's check that out real quick. Wow. Yeah, so this is interesting. This actually might have an impact on the United States, which is why this is interesting. There is a 60% chance over the next 7 days that a tropical storm develops here in the western Atlantic, eventually into the Gulf, or into the Caribbean Sea, excuse me. This storm, or this system in particular, this tropical wave, it actually might go towards the United States. It's possible. It's very unknown where it goes, but with these sorts of storms, especially this time of the year, we could get something that's more significant. So we're gonna have to watch this closely. The Atlantic Ocean is extremely warm for this time of the year, so a hurricane is very possible early in the season. This thing here, I'm not concerned about for the United States, but this could go towards Florida. It also could go towards the Gulf of Mexico. It could become a hurricane. It could be a weak tropical storm. We don't really know yet. I will show you, though, the European model in just a second, which does indicate that this could be a stronger hurricane. Now, granted, it's one model run, and computer models tend to be very inconsistent, especially 7 days out. I made a post about this on Facebook earlier. Do not trust every single post on Facebook, because some people are going to try to scare the crap out of you with something like this. If somebody posts a photo like this with a Category 4+ hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico over 7 days out, this is like 240 hours away, just know it's probably not going to happen, or it's probably fake. This stuff is really usually just clickbait type of stuff that, you know, is not very accurate. With that said, this is not something that can be ruled out. It's just an extremely low chance of happening. But one thing that we're gonna have to watch for is where this system goes, because if it tracks along the Caribbean Sea here, it could be something that impacts the United States after the 4th of July weekend. Again, it's not an imminent concern. It's still way out, and it could change. The GFS model on the 12Z model run did show that there could be a tropical storm that forms in the Gulf, or in the Caribbean Sea. I keep saying Gulf of Mexico, but in the Caribbean Sea, and eventually tracks to the west and then gets kind of ripped up by a high shear environment. Very possible that that happens. We could get another one behind that too that does something similar, and that could also possibly get sheared out as well. So there's, again, a couple systems here that we'll have to watch for. Just going to this as well, and then we'll go back to radar. This is the latest run. So again, tropical storm. The GFS model actually shows it making it into the Gulf of Mexico, and then it crashes into Mexico. But again, where this goes, what impacts it brings, extraordinarily uncertain, because we are still well over 7 days out. But Just a reminder, we are in the time of year where people will post clickbait sorts of things when it comes to hurricanes. Happens every year on social media. People will post doom and gloom when it comes to hurricanes hitting the United States. We'll keep you posted with honest stuff. We're not going to post crap because a lot of people do when it comes to hurricanes. It's not an imminent concern to the United States. And even if it was one, we would be talking about it. But like, again, that's still well over 7 days out from happening. Lots of things will change between now and then. That tornado touchdown at the Pittsburgh Zoo? Oh, really? At the beginning of the stream? I didn't even know that. This is the storm, by the way, that's producing some golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds right now, heading towards Denton County. It is a big supercell. That's the one, though. It's a live shot out of Lantana, Texas. We do live streams for hurricanes. Typically. Typically, we do. Webcam is paused. This is live. Yeah, this is live. I just got a clickbait YouTube video about a supposed hurricane that's coming. Well, there you go. And there's the beginning of it. It's going to happen, trust me. There's going to be plenty of clickbait even on YouTube. Facebook, I've found to be the worst place for that, though. Facebook, I've found to be the absolute worst when it comes to that sort of stuff. For whatever reason, Facebook's the platform where it goes bananas when it comes to hurricanes and stuff like that. I don't know why, but it does. Will there be a tornado in Carrollton? No. I highly doubt there's going to be a tornado with this activity. The only reason why we have a tornado possible label is for the storms in Pennsylvania, which I don't know if those still have a TP on it. Yeah, the one in Maryland actually does. Let's go to Maryland real quick. What is going on over there? We'll come back to this in a second. Thank you, Mark, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate the generosity. Oh, that's the one west of Cumberland. Okay, that one's... I was thinking more about this activity here. Yeah, that one back over in Western Maryland, it's not really too concerning in my opinion. Mostly just wind. And anything right now in Connecticut, also predominantly wind. Long Island, wind. Pennsylvania, wind. Texas, wind and hail. If you guys have any photos or videos, you can at me on Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. And this is the storm right now that is heading southwest. It'll be going towards Denton County, northern side of Denton County in the track of this. Also northwestern Collin County. But I wouldn't be surprised, as I mentioned before, if that system does become a hurricane relatively fast. It wouldn't shock me, but it's still too early to tell. I think by tomorrow we'll have more of an idea if it will or if there's still too much uncertainty. One in the Western Atlantic. Hey, Rick for the 199. Would I ever get into a Hurricane Hunter plane? I could. I actually know somebody that does go into the airplanes, but I wouldn't, personally. They're up there for hours and just does not look fun. I know a friend, like an actual friend that went on the Hurricane Hunter airplane recently for kind of like a test experiment. It was a few months ago, actually. In the off season, and they dropped drones out of the airplane. But the other thing was that one of my friends went along with that person, and he ended up throwing up like right into the flight, like immediately when they were going up. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I would. I'm not sure if I would want to go on that. Does not sound like a great experience. I do think the storm, as it moves southwest, it will weaken over time. I don't think it's going to strengthen as it goes towards Dallas and Fort Worth area, but or northern DFW. But I do think at the bare minimum, we are going to have at least a threat here for some hail in the short term. So again, the hail core right now just southeast of Whitesboro. This hail core has been slowly but surely shrinking. It's going towards the Ray Roberts Lake area, in addition to some wind. So yeah, that's moving southwest right now. I'm thinking this is going to be a weakening storm over time. They actually did confirm, or report at least, some 2-inch hail back over just north of Sherman. I had somebody in chat mention golf ball sized hail, which this does line up with that. So that is true. Here's a live shot right now of that storm. This is from the Lantana, Texas live cam. That is the Supercell that is currently producing golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Do you have a girlfriend? No. World's loudest water bottle. You want me to do it again? Somebody made a montage on Twitter of me slurping out of that. Why is my wall purple? It's not purple. Blue. Is that better? Maybe we have to change that to that light blue. I like the dark blue more, though. We'll hit Gainesville. I don't think Gainesville's going to get this. This is moving southwest. This particular storm. Look at that handwriting. Fantastic. Thank you, Hunter, for the $5 super chat. I'll check it out in a... Or actually, we can just check it out now. Southern Idaho? I've never had anybody ask me about Idaho before. I'm just going to let you know that. That's like the first time somebody's asked me about what's happening in Idaho. Talking about this storm near the Twin Falls area. Well, it's moving north and northeast. It's going to be more of a hail risk for Interstate 84 between Glens Ferry and Hagerman. I think it's going to probably go more in this direction, though. I don't think it's going to go... I think like this area will be in the track of it. West of Jerome and just southwest of Gooding. But it should be more of a wind and hail risk here. Moving north and northeast. I'm in Lewiston, Idaho. How many people in the chat right now are from Idaho? I'm actually curious, because I have never covered Idaho in my life. Like, this is... I think this might be our first time even talking about it. I'm surprised there's severe weather here right now. This is what's gonna... This is gonna be the event that happens tomorrow in the Northern Plains, though. But yeah, I'd expect that storm to be mostly a wind and hail threat from here. We actually got another storm here that's severe. New severe thunderstorm warning for Gainesville. Never mind. All right, so Gainesville actually might see some hail. I didn't realize, but there's actually another storm behind this that is intensified just a little bit. So we have this storm, which is the main one, which that's probably going to weaken, as I mentioned before. This one actually looks a little bit stronger. Again, upwards of ping pong to golf ball sized hail being a possibility, and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds as this moves southwest. So again, one going towards Gainesville and one's going towards Denton. I love how some of these girls think they have a chance with him. LOL. I mean, I'm honestly not even... I don't have time for anything, so that would just never happen anyways, probably. It's probably not going to happen. This is not Tinder, by the way. We are currently doing a weather live stream. Thank you. Yeah, this is the live shot right now of this storm here in northern DFW. Is Plano gonna get hit? I don't think we'll get, or I don't think Plano in particular will get much. If you do, it would be again just isolated hail and wind. A girlfriend might be good for you. I mean, I wouldn't be live as much as I'm live right now if we had to, if I had to deal with that. It'd be very sad. Thank you, Antone, for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite Culver's meal? You go buy it now. I mean, I like the butter burger. That's kind of my favorite. Either that or the chicken tenders. I just had the weird, I didn't even see it until now. There was a very weird comment about 15 minutes ago. I'm kind of creeped out now. All right. I'm glad I can help, Zach. No problem. I get Culvers all the time now because of you. I'm telling you guys, we need a sponsorship. Otherwise, we're gonna stop talking about Culvers. It's getting to the point where there's like an absolute massive increase probably in sales right now just because of us. All we talk about on this stream is cheese curds. Wild times. What's the comment? I'm not reading it. Just not gonna read it. I don't even know if it got deleted from mods. I don't know if it did or not. There is no tornado risk again on these storms. At least it's very low. It's mostly just ordinary storms. The tornado possible label that I have at the top left, that's for stuff up here in the Northeast, which I'll take that off in a second once we go back to Texas. We actually had multiple reports of a tornado now. We had multiple reports east of Pittsburgh of tornadoes. We had 6 different tornado reports. Probably all in the same tornadoes. We probably had 2 or 3 separate ones here. So, multiple reports there. Main concern right now in Pennsylvania still remains a wind concern. A little bit of broad rotation south of Huntington. Could still see an isolated tornado. West of Cumberland, main concern again just being wind. Near Hagerstown and Frederick. Again, mostly just wind there. South of Washington, D.C., we have a damaging wind threat up to 60. Moving into the south side of Washington, D.C. here momentarily. Then back over south of Colonial Beach, same sort of thing. Just, again, wind. Everything right now in the Northeast is wind. Maybe some small hail. Flash flooding possible. Maybe a little water spout. We could actually get a small water spout here just offshore. Back over south of Milford. So if you know any fish in this area, give them a call or text. Make sure that they're doing all right down there. I kind of doubt we'll actually get a water spout, but can't really rule it out. There is a special marine warning. Mainly for wind gusts. And back over in parts of Connecticut, the main concern here is currently going to be wind. Moving east. Damaging winds up to 70 actually possible now in northern and central parts of Connecticut. By the way, that dad, I don't know if you're still watching, but are those Philips Hue lights that you're using in your like studio or like the wherever you're watching our stream? I'm just curious. I don't know if you're still here. How's it going, Luke? Well, Melissa be hit. I don't even know where Melissa is on this map. It's somewhere in here. I know that. Oh, right here. Probably not. No, I kind of doubt it. Unless we get some sort of storm development over here, which looks highly unlikely. There will probably at least be lightning in your area. So just stay indoors. But aside from that, probably not. Philips Hue are the best. I have other opinions about that. Originally we got Philips Hue lights for behind us, which they might be for like other things, but like we were trying to do them for the flashing lights and all that. I got this newer light for like $130, I think. The other 2 lights were like $160. This has like 5 times the power. It's so bright. You can't see it, but like it has so many capabilities too. Like we can low key, we can make it a party in here. Like it's crazy. There's so many features. But like it's, in my opinion, way better, and it's also way cheaper. I would have had to buy probably like 7 Philips Hues for that thing to actually do anything to the background, because this light just lights up the room. Flower Mountain, the main concern will be large hail and some damaging winds if this storm makes it, which again, it is unknown if it will make it to you, but I think it'll at least make it to you with some rain. I don't know if it'll make it to you though with any severe aspects, because again, daylight heating's ending. Now with that said, we do have a storm back over, or sorry, not a storm, but the bats that are taking off back over west of San Antonio. Again, more bats taking off every single night. We see this, it feels like. Back over near Kokan and near Uvalde. I need to click this button so this thing goes off. There we go. But I honestly think these will weaken as they move southwest. I think I think the hail threat at least is going down. Maybe a little core there of hail near Collinsville, just not much. Happy birthday to Jack. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for the $4.99. If you want a personalized cameo, by the way, the link's in the description. A lot of people do those for celebrations. Just letting you know. You want something more personalized. How big's the hail? It's warned for. It was originally warned for golf ball. It's back down to $0.50. So the storm overall is weakening. It's still going, but it's definitely on a weakening trend right now. Will I do a gritty in the cameo? I mean, if you request it. You're not getting a cameo of me in the underwear. No, it's not happening. I mean, like. This is just ridiculous. This is low-key. This is literally underwear. That somebody fan mailed me. My friend was building a computer here earlier today. I don't know if he's watching, but he was building a computer earlier today. We have a second computer now. And this face on the underwear was just looking at him weird in the eyes. So, like... It's the weirdest thing. I don't even know who. I actually, the person that did it told me. Apparently, they were sending me gritty socks, which I have not yet gotten, but they were apparently sending that too. I have them close by. I have them here because because of him noticing that earlier. It's why I have them nearby. Otherwise, they would not be nearby. It's the weirdest thing, though. How long will the storms last in Pennsylvania? Only probably another hour or two. They're not going to be there for much longer. I think these will weaken as they move east. I think this cluster will continue to produce at least gusty winds, but I think the tornado risk is at least very low. It's not zero, but it's very low. Wind risk will continue across Maryland too. Just got plenty of, we got a lot of these Boeing segments still kind of ongoing here. So any of these segments could still produce the potential for some damaging winds. And also the threat in areas like Connecticut and even back over near Long Island will continue. Mostly just a wind threat. Again, damaging winds upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour being a possibility. Again, the tornado risk is very low to near zero across these areas. And again, tomorrow our focus will shift to the Great Plains. I think we'll be live tomorrow. Large, enhanced risk of severe weather. So it'll definitely be an interesting place to cover tomorrow. We don't usually cover this part of the United States, so it'll be interesting. And for what it's worth, the population in the enhanced risk is about 500,000 people. It's a pretty large area. It's, 114,000 miles, so square miles. So that's about one person, or it's about 4 or 5 people every square mile. So again, very, rural. But yeah, slight risk, kind of marginal threat. Very rural areas, but obviously I think we'll go live for that. I think it'll be interesting. What time? Tomorrow afternoon and evening. It'll be mostly late afternoon into the evening. It shouldn't be a super long risk, but it'll be a threat that will exist probably for about 5 hours or so. Let me get the exact timing for you. Give me 1 second. I'll give you like an ETA. I mean, it's mostly going to be North and South Dakota and Eastern Montana for most of the activity. Where's the stuffed doll? It's in the other room. I don't have it on me. I actually saw that earlier today, so I know where it is. Crazy enough. You have a doll of yourself? I do. Again, this is fan mail. People send me weird things. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to send fan mail, there is a link in the description. This is what the latest HRRR model is showing. So storm initiation around about 4 or 5 o'clock. And it'll probably go all the way through about 11 or 12. And then it'll become much more linear. It's a pretty short window overall. in my opinion, for tomorrow. Like, we could have some storms earlier in the day across parts of Montana, like earlier in the afternoon, that produce the potential for large hail damaging winds and a tornado or two. But I think the greater concern will be these North Dakota storms. And eventually this just becomes a line of storms and then weakens. And we'll also have a threat back over in the Central Plains. Let's go to that real quick. Does YouTube normally post commercials during a live weather warning broadcast? Well, at the beginning of live streams, yes. So when you click on the stream, it will. Unless you have YouTube Premium. Otherwise, we're doing this for free, and we don't have any way to upgrade our studio. like there's no every YouTuber does that. It's just kind of like one of those mandatory things. It's like TV. I mean, like, TV does the same exact thing. They have commercials. Maybe not during tornado warnings, but, you know, in general, they have commercials. We don't have commercials during tornado warnings for what it's worth. Like, you don't get ads in the middle of a tornado warning. We don't do that. That'd be ridiculous. A couple more clusters of storms, one in Nebraska and one's in Kansas tomorrow evening, too. It's going to be a few areas to watch for initiation. I got an ad in the middle yesterday. Really? You're not supposed to get ads in the middle of streams. I'm like 90% sure that's off. I'm looking right now. Yeah, you're not. You know, unless you refresh or something, you will not get an ad in the middle of a stream. We have it off, so we would never do that. We did it temporarily one time to test it out, but it just isn't good. It wouldn't be good for tornado warnings and all that. Are you talking about ads as in, like, non-skippable ads? Or are you talking about, like, pop-ups? If it's pop-ups, it might be different. Pop-ups, I think, might happen, but I can't control that. That's not something I can control. But if it's like an actual, like, non-skippable or even skippable ad, that's different. You shouldn't have that. You shouldn't have that if you've been watching the stream for, like, even 5 minutes. Like, you'll have it when you click on the stream, but after that, it's not there. Now, right now, anywhere in northern DFW, so northern Denton County or northwestern Collin County, main concern, again, will be wind and hail. So upwards of $1 sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. I don't think this threat is going to grow. I think it's going to keep going down here. Click the ad button? I'm not clicking the ad button. I can, but I'm not going to. YouTube Premium is totally worth it. I only got it because we have live storm chasers, and sometimes they do have ads in the middle of their stuff. So just to prevent that, we got it for that. But YouTube Premium is pretty good if you don't want ads. But it is pretty expensive. Again, the only reason why we have it is for storm chasers. And I'm still in college, so I got the student rate. I think it's like $8 a month, maybe. I could be wrong. For me, it's like $8 a month. For the general thing, I think it's like almost $15 a month. John, I've actually never covered that before. I saw a Twitter post of it not too long ago, but we don't usually cover that sort of stuff. But usually there are dust storm warnings for stuff like that. North of Altus. We've had a storm here near Altus for the longest time. It's just like a stationary little storm right now near Blair and Altus. Mostly just gusty winds and small hail over here. I canceled YouTube TV and got YouTube Premium. Yeah, I don't even watch cable anymore to begin with. The Patriots just suck so badly now in the NFL that it's just not worth even having cable in general. All the storms right now in Kentucky and in Tennessee and West Virginia, non-severe at this point. There isn't really any rotation in any of these either. It's just mostly wind. Maybe a little bit broad rotation south of Anita, but not much. Pennsylvania continues to watch for a wind concern. They do have a tornado possible label on this again. I wouldn't rule out a brief tornado, but again, I think the risk is pretty low across this area. And then New England, Connecticut, again, mostly just wind moving east. Maybe a brief tornado, but I think the risk of that even is really low. It's going to continue to be a pretty linear setup here, with mostly just damaging winds across the northeast up to 70 miles per hour. On track for Rhode Island, much of southern parts of Massachusetts. Long Island continuing to see at least some gusty winds. Looks like we actually might have a mesoscale convective system here. Or convective vortex, sorry, here. Almost. That's a little bit of spin here. Just a little bit of spin. It's not much. Almost a mesoscale convective vortex. Those do occasionally bring a bit more of a tornado risk, but I don't think we'll have much of that tonight. And then Washington, D.C., again, just mostly some damaging winds up to 60. I'm not working towards a master's, no, just bachelor's. I'm like, I think about 10 months away from graduating, so not far. What are my thoughts on the Celtics winning? I really don't care. I don't really care about basketball, to be honest. Like, I can't really watch the basketball anymore. It's just so offensively based. It's just, I can't watch it. There's like no defense at all. It's just really, really boring, in my opinion. It's cool, but I really could care less. I love watching golf. It just makes me fall asleep. So you're not married. I'm not married. Some people thought I was like 50 years old. Like, I don't... I saw some Twitter comments like, that guy's not 45 years old. I'm like, who said I'm 45 years old? I trek north Richland Hills. Anywhere in DFW right now, this is the only storm activity. It's moving south. They are weakening. Main concern at this point is quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And they should kind of fizzle as they continue to move south. They're not going to be done, but they are going to probably fizzle. This is the live camera out of Lantana, Texas, of that storm. We'll see if we can get any cool lightning on this. We might. You look mid-20s? Appreciate it. You're basically calling me old, though, for saying mid-20s. Further reminder, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below, like the stream, and also if you want to support the page above and beyond, you can become a member. It is the top link in the description below. And also, we are actually currently only 28 subscribers from 298,000. Sheesh. Make sure to subscribe. It's free to do. Red button down below. I'm mid-20s, thanks. I mean, I was just saying that, you know, you're making me sound old by saying 25 or whatever, mid-20s. You look like Dwight from The Office. If he had a kid? What? I've had people say that I look like Dwight from The Office, but never as if he had a kid. I would be his son. That's interesting. I'm not a military kid, no. We're 2,000 subscribers right now from 300,000. That is insane. Wow. Hit 298,000 on the nose. Sheesh. I haven't seen any lightning with this. This is not stationary, by the way. This is a live footage. We've seen nothing in terms of lightning. You blew up in subscribers? I know, we've blown up a lot recently. Depending on how tomorrow goes, we could reach 300,000. It's possible. We gained 3,000 subscribers yesterday, which is crazy, on that live stream. It's very possible that tomorrow we hit 300,000. It is definitely a possibility. We will see. Not dark enough for lightning yet. It definitely is dark enough to see lightning. You can definitely see lightning. I'm just surprised we haven't seen any yet. There hasn't actually been any lightning detected at all recently. The last time lightning was detected was back up near Denison. Yeah, there's like 3 lightning strikes that have been detected in the last like 5 minutes. I just want to see one lightning strike out of this. Just one. Something in the clouds. Nothing that hits the ground. I'm sorry to hear that, Catherine. Sorry to hear that. Fortunately, that is the threat when it comes to wind. For everybody that keeps saying I'll be curious to see when I'm streaming for hurricane coverage, I think I've answered that question 7 million times in the last 3 months. I do live streams for hurricanes. I've said this, I don't know, endless times. Thank you, Daryl, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. We have 40 new members today, by the way. Appreciate anybody that's become a member. Thank you, Marissa, for the 20 you gifted earlier, too. It's half of it. Am I going to storm chase? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I will, at the bare minimum, do live coverage, but I might storm chase. Never know. We will see. Didn't you just celebrate 250? I don't even know when we celebrated that. I feel like it's been a little while. We hit 250 on May 22nd, so about a month ago. Granted, we hit 100,000 back in, like, I don't know, February? I mean, this is the graph recently, if you are really just curious. So, back in June, this is June 28th of 2023, 55,000 or whatever. Kind of just kept going up and up and up and up and up. 100,000 was hit on about February 4th. And then we reached 150 about in April 2nd. Just keep on going up. Bit of a flat line here in mid-June, but it's more because I was on vacation. I was away. Constant lightning in Connecticut. Yeah, those storms are going to be highly electrified. This is the one in DFW. It has not produced much of any lightning, but pretty cool cloud structure at least. Got a little overshooting cloud top there. The storm activity, though, in DFW is definitely weakening. It's not as concerning as before. And honestly, all the storms right now, I'm not really that concerned about, aside from wind. I think the tornado risk is pretty close to zero. These storms are falling apart, though, in North Texas, which was kind of expected. They might last up until Denton, but it might just be a little shower by the time it gets there. So that's all I expect there. Also, thank you, Morgan, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Yeah, I'm not seeing much of a risk right now. Maybe like a brief tornado right now going towards like center, for example. Like we could get like an isolated brief tornado. I just think overall the main concern again across the board will be wind for the next few hours. Maybe a water spout somewhere offshore. But damaging winds up to 60, maybe even up to 70 miles per hour. In Connecticut, frequent lightning being a possibility as these storms move east. And I just saw lightning on that live cam, but it was like embedded in the clouds. It was like a small, tiny flash. So, not really seeing much there. Storms near Boston, mostly just a flash flooding threat right now. Apparently, Fenway Park is having a flooding problem, so that just happened. But, again, these storms mostly just producing gusty winds at this point. When did everybody subscribe in this chat? I'm just curious. If you know a month or a year, definitely put it in the chat. I don't know if you can actually check, but out of curiosity. DFW storms mostly going to be a threat for isolated hail and wind. Again, I think they're going to fall apart before they actually get to DFW. They are moving southwest. What is my sign? I have no clue. I couldn't tell you. Gritty at the end. If we get like 15 more members before I end the stream, I will. Got like 5 minutes though to do that. Make it work. We got 5 minutes for 15 members, and I'll do a gritty. I don't even know why we do this stuff. I really don't know why. A lot of people recently. A lot of you are recent. Hey, you text with a $5 super chat. They were crazy today in Paris, Texas. Extremely strong winds knocking out several transformers and several down lines from the winds. Yeah, that line of storms earlier today, it did not look vicious on radar, but like that outflow boundary, it was a pretty crazy line of storms, and it lasted all the way into southern Louisiana. It was quite impressive. And unfortunately, Paris, I think, just barely got clipped by that. Thank you, GV, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Also, thank you to Jack for the 22-month maximum velocity member. That is crazy long. I appreciate your generosity. Thank you, Evan, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. So we have 2 of 15 members. We got, again, make it work. We got 5 minutes if you want a gritty. Otherwise, it's over. About 4 minutes now. Yeah, James, I think we at least had 3 or 4 tornadoes around around that part of Pennsylvania earlier. And the only severe weather now is actually back over here in the Northeast. The storms in DFW, those warnings have been canceled. They have been weakening. Thank you, Morgan, for the $5 super chat. Hey, no problem. I'm glad I can help. I'm glad you guys got narrowly missed. Those tornadoes, that event was, again, crazy. One of the that was the most rushed live stream setup that we've ever had. Like, I was not ready for that at all. I was literally just walking in the door. I all of a sudden saw a large tornado on the ground in like Western Maryland. I'm like, all right, I got to set up this studio, because it was our remote studio with our laptop. It wasn't our actual studio here, because I was traveling. So it was a really quick setup. I'm glad I went live for it, but it was crazy. What does a member do for you? I mean, really, what we have been doing is using members, like if you become a member, most of those funds are just going into upgrading the studio. So it's a lot of what we've been doing recently. Just upgrading what we can to make this live stream quality better. That's really the main thing that we've been trying to do recently. I mean, we just built another computer, so that'll be able to handle some other stuff. We're going to get a couple more monitors here soon, and just kind of continue to do some upgrades here. Hey, Jessica, for the 5 get to members. I appreciate it. Put some hearts in the chat for Jessica. Also a mod, by the way. Thank you, Tim, for the super chat. Thank you, Antone, for the $5 super chat. Why don't I get a doctorate degree? It's just too much work. I like, for where I'm at right now, I would rather not spend all that time in college. I also think Colleen for the $1.99. I have no clue. Alright, we got 7 of the 15 members. We need 8 more for a gritty. We got 2 minutes. Might get it at the buzzer, we'll see. I was actually thinking, this is an idea that I have. I was thinking about it. But I was thinking about doing a second... So on our second channel, I was thinking about having a 24/7 weather live stream. Not that I will ever be present on it, but like have just relaying weather information on there. And, you know, be able to have some, like, automated graphics that do some stuff. Like, I was thinking about it, putting that onto a second computer. So I was thinking about doing that. I'm not sure if we're going to. It was an idea that I had. So we're thinking about it. Thank you, Mary, for the $4.99. Okay. Appreciate the $4.99. Yeah, the other thing is, too, I mean, membership funds, too, have been going to license for more Storm Chasers, too, because Storm Chasers aren't free. We're trying to expand that, too. Rotate through rail cams? That'd be interesting. Maybe. What's the second channel? I don't even know if the link's down below. No, it's not. I'll put the link in the chat. Just give me 1 second here. Whenever you look up my second channel, it immediately pops up with my main channel. Hey, Lauren, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Links in the chat to our second channel. We just had a big flash of lightning in this storm near Dallas-Fort Worth. Unfortunately, I just missed it. I don't think I can go back in time, can I? No, I can't. A little bit of lightning in the storm now all of a sudden. How's Pittsburgh looking? And the main concern probably just gonna be wind at this point. I don't see much else having an issue there. You know, I was thinking about it. I don't know if we're going to, but I'm definitely considering it because I feel like it would actually be a pretty useful tool to have. So I'm definitely thinking about it. Thank you, Jessica, for another 5 gifted members. I appreciate it. Thank Jessica in the chat if you got a membership. We only need 1 more member for a gritty. I'll extend the time by like another minute or 2. I think it might be 2 more, but I'll make it 1. There's another flash of lightning. And again, tomorrow will be a pretty long live stream, so tomorrow looks like a big day. I don't know if it'll be long, but it'll at least be probably 4 to 6 hours for that enhanced risk. Thank you, girl, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Thank you, more for the $5 super chat. Please find a way. I don't even know what that. I don't even know. Hurricane? I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it meant hurricane. Thank you, Headron, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Thank you, Geraldine, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate the generosity. What's the risk in Sioux City tomorrow? It should be low. It should be mostly wind over there. Thank you, CC, for becoming a member. All right, let's do it gritty. And we're actually gonna try something different. We're gonna put on the party lights. Evan, that's actually not a bad idea. I was thinking. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure yet, but we might. All right. Might be the craziest gritty of all time, by the way, right here. Here we go. These lights are so stupid. Party lights go crazy. We need a disco ball, somebody just said in the chat. I actually agree. Wow. What a time to be alive. The Bri for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. I'm not doing a strobe light, no way. Well, yeah, that's actually a thing on here. This light has like 50 options, I swear, it's crazy. That's so many options. There's no way I'm doing that. Alright, well, again, the wind threat's kind of going down. The tornado threat, pretty close to 0. I mean, the wind concern is really the main concern at this point. We could see an isolated brief tornado in, like, Pennsylvania, like eastern Pennsylvania, but I still think it's a low risk for tonight. And then back over in Connecticut, Rhode Island, southern Massachusetts, mostly just wind. Not expecting really anything else here, so again, just stay weather aware and all that sort of jazz, and make sure that you have a few ways to receive alerts before going to bed if you do. Thank you also, Chris, for becoming a moderate velocity member. Bud gained 100,000 aura points. What does that even mean? I've seen that posted on social media. Aura points? Gotta do a gritty full screen. We'll try to do that in the future. I just don't have enough room. Believe it or not, we have our bed right here. You can see the pillow in the background. Thank you, Drezzy, for the $4.99. Yeah, Hartford, Connecticut's getting that line of storms. I mean, again, the main concern is wind. I'm not really concerned about this stuff. It's up to 70 miles per hour. Obviously, stay away from windows, do all that sort of stuff. But again, it's really not much of a concern, in my opinion, for like tornadoes or something that we really need to stay alive for. It's pretty ordinary stuff. Even when we went live today, it was a bit of a stretch. I mean, we went live when that tornado warning got issued for Pennsylvania, but like, or near Pittsburgh. I mean, we usually go live for those if we can, but that kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting to go live at all. Just kind of popped up, and I was like, all right, I guess we're gonna go live. Thank you, you two, for the $9.99. I'm glad I can help, and I'm glad I can teach you some stuff from Paraguay, South America. Wow. Thank you, Bill, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Tomorrow could be big. I mean, again, we could have some strong tornadoes tomorrow in North Dakota. But we'll see in the morning. We'll see. We're gonna have a video tomorrow morning, as always. Who's we? Did I say? Okay, we. Me. Sorry, not we. Me and the doll. Absolutely. Yeah, that's. I might as well get the doll. Give me 1 second. We're gonna get that real quick. Right here. Wow, this thing looks crazy. All right, there we go. Minimum velocity, right here. That's we, apparently. There you takeout for the $4.99. Appreciate it. That's what Queso does every day, is takeout. Robert, you're fine in Louisiana. I'm not concerned about Louisiana. There's like not even a storm in Southeast Louisiana right now. Anyway, Anthony, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Gang, I don't know what you're talking about, but there's no EF5 tornado in Oklahoma, so I don't know what you're talking about. If there was a tornado, we would be talking about it. Just letting you know. There's nothing, I mean, aside from wind, that's it. And I wasn't even supposed to go live today. We just went live because there was a warning, or a few warnings in Pennsylvania. Thank you, Kali, for becoming a member, and welcome to the Velocities. Oklahoma's fine. Again, isolated hail and wind from here. I'm not, again, no tornado risk really in the southern plains. There's just, it's not the environment for tornadoes. It's a pretty typical summertime setup there in the southern plains. Just ordinary thunderstorms for the most part. But again, there are no tornadoes. There are no tornado warnings. Everything is just isolated damaging winds and hail from here. And after that, tomorrow is the bigger day. Again, today is not that big in my opinion. It was a large area, but not like a, you know, like a huge risk per se, like a huge tornado risk or anything like that. But I would not be surprised if we had a 10% tornado risk tomorrow in the northern plains. Give me 1 second. Thank you, Honda, for the $4.99. Yeah, Baltimore should be fine. Again, just isolated damaging winds will be the main concern. What's the chance of a drunk NATO? We're not going to see a drunk NATO tonight. I highly doubt it, at least. It's not the environment for a drunk NATO. Tomorrow, maybe a small chance, but I don't think tomorrow we'll have a drunk NATO. The storm should move fast enough in North Dakota for there to not be a drunk NATO. If you're not familiar with what a drunk NATO is, let's show you real quick. Wow, that's crazy. Look how many queso recommendations we have in our YouTube feed. That's that's actually really funny. I didn't realize how many I had. All right, this is a drunk NATO for those that are wondering. There we go. All right, that's it for today's stream. I was going to end it a little while ago, but that's it for today's stream. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We'll probably be live again tomorrow. And yeah, I'm hungry. I need food. And we'll be live again tomorrow. Video in the morning, so subscribe. Click the bell icon so you're notified with that video. We're currently only 1,900 subscribers away from 300K. So if you are new, subscribe. No better time to do it than now. We are very close to 300K. And also thank you, Nick, for the $4.99 on the way out. Appreciate that. And appreciate you guys all tuning in. Thanks for all the new members, super chats, watching the stream, anything like that. I do appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys all again tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow's not too bad, but it does look like a big day in the Great Plains. So if you're, again, in the Great Plains, definitely stay tuned. Tune in. We'll be here probably as long as it looks active. All right. See you guys all again in the next one. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all the links in the description. Join us on Discord. Discord link is in the description. Also, quick heads up, shopmaxvelocity.net. Don't forget to pick up a Drunk NATO t-shirt. We should have flying trampoline merch here soon, by the way. So if you're interested in flying trampoline stuff, our flying trampoline merch will be out in a brand new style very soon. So be on the lookout for that. Again, shopmaxvelocity.net is in the description. All right. See you guys all.